only 7 months ago, in the month of March and February, we'll say 8 months, where we were like, is this team even going to go anywhere? How is Jorge Polanco going to work out at third base? Why was he the best signing possible for the Mariners? This is an absolute joke. Oh, wait. And now here we are. We are in the American League Championship Series against the Toronto Blue Jays. And I think it's a nobody would have expected. I don't think anyone could have predicted that the Mariners would be where they're at. But all I can say is I am very happy that the Mariners have a great opportunity to get to the World Series. And it's been since 24 years since I've actually been able to say that, because I didn't believe that in 22. Not that much.
Yeah, for sure, man. We're 4 wins away from our first World Series appearance in club history. And it's an exciting time. And you're absolutely right. At the start of the season, you and I were shaking our heads because this team didn't have a third baseman or a first baseman to start the season. They had nickeled and dimed their way through the offseason. But you know what? Credit to them. They got off to a pretty solid start, and they were able to do some things at the trading deadline that strengthened their team. And they came together. What I actually appreciated was the fact that they took advantage of a weak American League West. This happened. This happened a couple of years ago where we were able to squeak in what I considered a down West, and this time they were able to finish the job off and get their first division title in 25 years. And now all of a sudden, here we are in the American League Championship Series. And one of the things that got me excited was that Game 5 victory against Detroit, because we all remember Game 3 in 2022, where the Mariners took 18 innings and couldn't even put a run across the board. And I think that as a young team, for the first time in the playoffs, they had no idea how to win. This time around, they found a way to win. And that is a sign of a team that has matured, a sign of a team that clearly has come together. And hopefully it's that launching pad that launches them past Toronto. And also remember, Seattle actually is very good against Toronto. They're actually incredibly good at Skydome. And of course, we all remember the wild card round where everybody just assumed Toronto was going to walk. And it was Seattle that was doing the walking in 2022 in Toronto. So I don't think this is a building that Seattle is not even remotely afraid of playing in. I don't think there's any fear in their starting rotation. So the interesting thing is how quick is this team going to start? Because the one thing that they would like to do is at least score a couple runs in the first couple innings and quiet the Skydome crowd.
That's what they absolutely are going to have to do. But because of the efforts that happened throughout Game 5, especially with, oh my goodness, that they pretty much got out the skin of their teeth, it did come at the cost that Bryce Miller is going to be the starter. Now, he had a great start in Game 4. It's just that the crazy thing is, like, everyone's dogging on Dan Wilson for taking out Bryce Miller for Gabe Spire, but the way that the Tigers offense was doing, I think it wouldn't have mattered. Like, I think even if you kept Bryce Miller, correct, it would have been no different.
Correct. And that's the thing.
It's like they just happened to catch the Tigers at the worst possible time.
People forget that we used Randy Johnson in the 11th inning, 10th and 11th inning in 1995, just to close that one out against the Yankees. He was gone for Game 1, and that made Bob Wolcott the starter against the Indians in that LCS. And after a rocky first inning, he settled in and actually pitched a pretty good game. And so that being said, it's like, are you upset that Bryce is starting tonight? I don't think I'm really all that upset. And also it shuffles the rotation in a unique way where Bryce goes tonight, and then when you actually need your best starters, games 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now Dan Wilson has an opportunity to reshuffle the rotation and actually play a little chess here against this Toronto Blue Jays team. And there's going to be a good possibility that our 3 best starters are going to be right in the middle of the heart of the series where we're actually going to need our best pitchers playing. So from that standpoint, I don't have a problem with it. We also get Brian Wu back for this series, so that's also very exciting. So we'll see how they use Wu.
Yeah, and what I was also going to go on to was that Game 5, it took a couple starters, including Logan Gilbert and Luis Castillo. Now, I didn't fault Dan Wilson for doing it. Now, granted, it shouldn't have gotten to that point. It really shouldn't have, but sometimes you just don't have a choice. It would have been, I mean, it was certainly a better decision than putting like a Caleb Ferguson and then Emerson Hancock, no disrespect.
Without a doubt.
But the thing was, my biggest fear of going into Game 5 was it just felt, because we've seen this before, after every playoff run the Mariners have had, regardless of where they finish, they tend to either blow up the team or they just stay too complacent and do nothing. They don't double down. And all of the seasons, they had great opportunities to do so. And that's what was. That's why I didn't want to hear anyone from Mariners fans going, there's always next year. There's always no. Because Naylor was on an expiring contract. Suarez is going to be free agent. Arozarena is very deep into arbitration. Kirby and Gilbert are due. So I'm not saying like this. I'm not going to give the message of this is our year. I feel like this is the year where it's like, let's take advantage of the opportunity now.
That's exactly right. There's no excuses, right? If there was ever an opportunity to get to the World Series, it's this year. No Yankees, no Red Sox. You know, the American League hitters are gone, right? So there's no excuses, right? You get the Toronto fucking Blue Jays, for Christ's sake, a team that, quite honestly, you're better than. You have better pitching. You have better timely hitting. You guys can hit. They hit for power. They seem to hit for power in all the right times of the game. The only thing that has to happen is that, number one, Cal Raleigh has to actually play a lot better than he did in the division series. No disrespect to Cal, especially in that Game 5, he had a couple bad strikeouts, and especially with runners on as well too. Same thing with Julio Rodriguez, right? These are the two guys that are in the lineup that are these guys are the focal points. And they're going to absolutely have to come up large in this in the league championship series for this team to actually have an opportunity to advance. The other thing that I will point out is Dan Wilson has to let his starters go more than 66 pitches. You talk about Game 5, about missed opportunities. Number one, you have absolutely no excuse pulling your starter at 66 pitches. That's number one, and also number two. How many opportunities does this team have in extra innings to actually put it away before the 15th inning and couldn't get a timely base hit just to win the goddamn thing? So they didn't actually have to reshuffle the rotation, right? So, it's on the players 100%, but it's also on Dan Wilson as well, too, because you can't 66 pitches. Are you kidding me? Pulling George Kirby is ridiculous.
The other problem was they just let Kerry Carpenter live in their heads like rent free so badly that they made such a knee-jerk. The thing was, I was all about the matchup, but at the same time, like Kirby could have just easily just give him the bag, just put him on first base, and then let his pitching pick. That's what should have been done. Like, I was okay with the move if the move was like an inning or two later. Then yeah, of course, because he'll be like at 80 or 90 by then.
The crazy thing though is
what's done is.
Yeah, for sure. But that the crazy thing though is that you saw the damage Kerry Carpenter was doing you through the first 4 games, and it doesn't matter what inning, just put him on. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. First inning, whatever the case may be, just put him on. Just put him on.
I also saw that Alex Rodriguez said Mariners are going to win the series. It really sounds like either he believes that or he's really desperate to win Seattle fans again.
Ooh,
I have a feeling he really is.
Former Blue Jay, former Mariner Edwin Encarnacion is throwing out the first pitch for Game 1 in Toronto.
Oh my gosh. Edwin Encarnacion, our hero from the 2019 first half. He was the Nelson Cruz replacement. Now we gotta give him a. Now I enjoyed watching him.
They're showing highlights of the 91 World Series or the 92 World 93. Series where Joe Carter hit it in 93. Hit the Game 7 winner. It's like, come on, man. Enough.
Game 7
enough.
Off Mitch Williams. I mean, but to be fair, us Mariners, we also gaze about 95, which has not as much significance on a national perspective. I mean, on a Seattle perspective, one. Oh, we've got Smoltz and what's Joe Davis. Honestly, I like that combo than the one that we had with like AJ Pierzynski. Why is your stream so blurry, Roof? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah. My internet's poo-poo. There's nothing I can do.
Get a better camera.
No, this is the 4K ZV1K camera, man.
Okay.
And also, if you're
Okay.
wondering what this T-shirt's about, I will reveal it. I will talk about it after the top of the first
Oh,
inning. It has.
the Issaquah. You are the Issaquah softball champion.
I finally broke my 11-year championship drought on Friday night. And somehow I still made time after that game to make time to jump on the bottom of the 8th inning and still got 3 hours worth of content in there. Friday was a really crazy day for me. And now we're gonna go over the line.
Well, also today was a pretty crazy day for you. You pulled the double today.
I almost fell asleep during that Jacksonville game because it was a win's a win, but it was a boring game I saw because offense was just stalled on both sides. I mean, even though the Seahawks defense was fine, it's not like they did anything exciting. It just felt like a game of it went on and on and on. And even the game was like, okay, no more commercial breaks at the last 2 minutes. Let's just steamroll this. Flick of the switch. I'm using T-Mobile. I should probably go back to it.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, they do have upgrades for 56K modems. By the way, I have no idea what that means. I know for a fact that I have pretty good speed, so that's why I'm looking pretty crystal clear and good looking tonight. But as far as like modem differentials, you might as well say banana because I have no idea what the difference is. When Xfinity says I have pretty good service, that's good enough for me.
All right, now we're gonna go into the lineup. I know too much about internet, unfortunately. We got Randy Arozarena, Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez, Jorge Polanco, the hero, Josh Naylor, Eugenio Suarez, Dom Canzone, JP Crawford. The only thing I changed, just put Victor Robles or JP Crawford as the leadoff guy. That's the only thing I want to change.
So Robles 8, JP 9, right?
Which I don't like because I don't like Randy as a leadoff hitter.
That's actually not that's not going to change though, and it's
Wilson's
unfortunate too because I like the idea of Robles at the top. And maybe Cal Raleigh as number 3, but I will say that I like the 7-8-9 of Canzone, Robles, and JP. It's actually the
you
first time in a long
kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Mariners Mojo is also doing this. As if the competition's already existed. I think people are catching on to me.
Yeah, it's the first time in a long time where I didn't naturally barf at the bottom 4 of a Mariner lineup. This is actually one of the strongest lineups we've seen in quite a long time when it comes to the Seattle Mariners. Is it 95 good or 97 good? No, but we will never see it.
95 is the best Mariners team that was ever assembled, and it's not even close. Like, I think if 95 was playing against 2001, 95 would kick their butts. Bad.
97 might have been a little bit better. Better first baseman. Better shortstop.
Yes. 97 versus 01?
No, 97 versus 95.
I beg to differ.
Better
I'd rather
shortstop.
have Tino over Paul Sorrento. Yeah, you had the shortstop, sure. But you didn't have the bullpen. 97 bullpen was disaster.
Wasn't Segui the first baseman in 97?
No, it was Paul.
I thought it was David Segui.
Segui was 98 to 99.
That's right. So yeah, I would have taken Tino, but yeah, listen, first base, third base was better in 95, 97 better shortstop. Outfield spots were a little bit better. Yeah, maybe 95 was a little bit better. Nah, not really, because Luis Sojo was garbage. We didn't have a left fielder except for an aging Vince Coleman.
But Mariners left fielder was just Roberto Kelly. I would have rather have Vince Coleman than 95.
Roberto Kelly. Roboito. All right, so it looks like I'm on the Canadian stream here.
You know, another chilling part of the Seahawks game was when they were advertising the Mariners game for the American League Championship Series. I don't think we've seen that before. I don't think it's ever happened because the last time the Mariners were in the playoffs, Seahawks were normally on CBS because they were an AFC team. So I think that's the first time I've ever seen that happen.
Well, but they're both on Fox this time around.
Well, now it is, yeah.
And also in 2000 and 2001, the Seahawks were what 8-8, 9-7, 7-9.
Yeah, they were
in that. Yeah, they weren't really all that great. They weren't really all that great.
They were just getting started. Holmgren.
Yeah, like 2 years later, 3 years later, they were pretty good. But
well, now we're
all right. Let's take advantage.
Let's take advantage of this, and also let's not to mention that this Kingdom Stadium dimension we're essentially playing. Or did I say Kingdom Rogers Center? Just trying to say that we're essentially playing at the Kingdom. That's what the Rogers Center pretty much is. It basically is playing in the Kingdom. So that's why the Mariners offense have got to take advantage. They're going to go up against Kevin Gausman, and Bo Bichette is actually not on the ALCS roster. I did not September 7th. Oh, come on, man. Don't do that.
All the advantages we need.
Yeah. Even he's ready. Look at that. He's ready.
I think Bichette is a free agent up this year.
I think so, yeah. So the lineup for the Blue Jays is going to be George Springer leading off. Then we got Lukes, Guerrero Jr., Barger, Alejandro Kirk, Dalton Varsho, who beat up earlier in the season, Clement, Anthony Santander, and Jimenez. So it's, it's still going to be a difficult series. I still think it's going to be a more difficult series than the Tigers. The only upside of it is the Mariners don't have to deal with the likes of Tarek Skubal, but ironically, the Mariners actually did win their games against Skubal anyway.
Yeah. So
Skubal wasn't really the problem.
Again, the Mariners have faced Gausman in the playoffs before. They know exactly what to expect from Gausman. I actually think this is a better lineup than the last time that we faced Gausman in the playoffs. So from that standpoint, I'm expecting the same. I'm expecting a positive result in game one. This is exactly the game you want to get off to a 1-0 start. And if we can get back to Seattle 2-0, okay, fantastic. But we have to at least take game one and actually set the tempo for the series.
Kevin,
the tempo.
Seam fastball, a splitter, and a slider. And the last time the Mariners played against Kevin Gausman in the playoffs, it was game 2 of the American League Wild Card Series, where the Blue Jays went up on an 8-1 lead, and then the Mariners came all the way back to win 9-8. But either way, it's going to be a tough game. Mariners have just got to get in game 1 would be huge, so that way it will put less pressure on the actual starters. No offense to Bryce Miller. He did what he could in game 4, but we're going to expect a tough series, especially with Bryce Miller, where he consistently pitches the fastball quite a bit. Like, he pitches it up to 30 to 40% of his time. And also, we got the umpires. Not that I'm going to use them as an excuse or anything, but the Mariners got Master Boney back.
Our bench is terrible.
Miles Mastrobuoni, Mitch Garver.
Yeah,
Rivas is good.
Rivas, Mastrobuoni, Garver, Ford. Yeah,
pretty under.
Yeah, I guess.
We could.
Okay.
This team would be a little bit better if we had a 2022 Dylan Moore, or at least a 2024 Dylan Moore. Dylan Moore would have been quite useful, but the thing was, Dylan Moore was. He unfortunately became a shell of his former self. It really sucks that he did not get to be part of this team. And then we're getting ready for that first pitch, and it's going to be brought to you by SeatGeek.
Ooh.
And now here is the pitch, and that's going to be outside for a ball, and we are underway here at Rogers Center in Toronto, Canada.
I'm a little bit behind you, so I'll.
Well, that's advantage for my show. Got Randy Arozarena is working on a 1-0. Now here's the pitch, and that's going to be way inside for a ball, 2-0. Arozarena has struggled in the postseason, batting just 174. He's not exactly the 2020 Arozarena that we were hoping for.
Okay.
And now we're at 2-0. Here's the pitch, low for a ball, and that is going to be 3-0.
Perfect. Perfect.
Does he get the 3?
Now we're at 3-0 for Arozarena. 3 pitches in for Gosman so far. He's not looking too hot, at least against Arozarena. Maybe I'm calling a red light on this. Now the pitch, and of course, why did he think he was going to get a walk on that? He was trying to walk when it was like right down the middle. So cute and adorable.
So adorable.
Now we're at 3-1 on the count. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a strike. And now the pitch, and that's going to be a foul ball. Yep, he had to swing at that. And now it's going to be a full count, 3-2. On deck is going to be the big dumper, Cal Raleigh, who is the potential MVP for this season in the American League. Now we're at 3-2, full count. And now here is the pitch, and that's going to be a foul ball. That goes right off his foot. And it's still going to be 3-2. And it's good to see Arozarena fighting this off. And sadly, ESPN is ahead of my feed, as we are at 3-2.
God, he got a fastball a little high. That was right in his wheelhouse, and he fouls.
Now here's the pitch. And now here's going to be a ground ball right to the second baseman. Throw to first, and that's going to be in time. But it did take 7 pitches to get Randy Arozarena out. Do I want a single or a hit out? But at least it took 7 pitches, I guess. On Lee says, I hate when players take 3-0 when they know a fastball is right down the... I know, you would think, right? That's kind of the thing.
Yeah, no, I would have given him the green light. It's the ALCS. It's the first inning. If he flies out, he flies out. But with the Rosarena's power, he could also pull one down the left field line.
Now here's going to be a line to right field, and that is going to be a base hit. And Cal Raleigh continues his hitting dominance at the Rogers Center. He loves playing in Canada. Now we got a man on first base for Julio Rodriguez, but the risk is he got a double play risk.
Canada. Who are you listening to?
I'm just spying on Mojo.
Oh, I see.
They're also doing play-by-play. Now we're at Julio Rodriguez. Now the pitch. And that was right down the middle for a strike. That was a slider. What I do like about the Fox broadcasting is they immediately know what the pitch is. So I think that's pretty cool. Now we're at 0-1. And now here is the pitch. And that's going to be popped up and fouled. That was a 96-mile fastball that went off the netting. 10 pitches in for Kevin Gosman. Are wearing their gorgeous teal blue uniforms, the teal uniforms, which I really, those are my favorite.
Those are horrible.
We actually disagree with a lot more things than I thought, but that's
horrible.
0-2 for Julio. Now the pitch, and he pops up and foul. That was a splitter. And it's okay. We disagree on some things, but is it the end of the world? No.
Yes. It's definitely the end of the world.
Okay. And now we're at 0-2 for Julio. He's batting one season. The pitch, a liner, and that is going to base hit, and that's going to move Cal Raleigh to second base. He's actually going to third, and now the Mariners are already threatening with a runner scoring position. What a hit by Julio Rodriguez, and now it's going to be Jorge Polanco, who is normally the expert with the runner in scoring position. And if I'm Julio Rodriguez, to second base, get that stolen base, go for the steal. Uh-oh. Steve-O just disappeared for a moment. Well, that's okay. And now we're going to have the next guy up. It's going to be Jorge Polanco. Let's see what he can do. batting .265 with 26 home runs, 78 RBIs, was the hero of the American League Division Series. Now here's going to be a grounder that might score on, throw to the plate, and it is in time. And that's going to get Julio to second base. But now we've got, and I think I know why it makes sense why Julio or Cal Raleigh went for home, even though anyway, so he could prevent the double play. So basically, Cal broke up the double play in some ways, if you think about it. But who knows? Maybe with Julio's speed, you don't know. I mean, do you think they should stay at third? And I wonder if they're going to if Dan Wilson's going to challenge the call, he actually might be safe. And there also could be a potential blockage.
The play, by the way, the play is obviously at the plate, right? So you're gonna go to home. Anything in the short infield.
They're not going to challenge it. They're not challenging it.
Yeah,
that was a challenge. I think that's a challengeable call.
Was the tag made before the foot goes in? It looked like it was a bang bang play at the plate. I don't think that's I don't think Dan's gonna waste the challenge this early.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
Well, now we're at 2-0 for Josh Naylor. He has been easily the best. He's been easily the best acquisition at the trade deadline, definitely more than Suarez. And he's a T-Mobile type hitter. Now we're at 2-0. Now the pitch. Now here's going to be a fly to center field, and that is not going to drop. That is going to be retiring the side, and a wasted opportunity by the Mariners.
Yep.
And some might say that he maybe should have changed that call. I think it could have been overturned, but we don't know for sure. I really thought he was going to challenge just that one run. Let's be a little bit more aggressive, but I guess they don't do things like that in the first inning. But runs are harder to come by.
I can understand it, considering Naylor is right behind him, and Naylor had a pretty solid division series at the plate. Obviously a base hit scores a run with Julio on second. So yeah, you wonder whether or not it was a missed opportunity by Dan by not challenging it. But that being said, if you waste a challenge and it doesn't go your way, you've lost. I think you've lost your challenge for the rest of the game. And so I think you
do.
Yeah, so that's the thing, right? You don't want to put yourself behind the eight ball early in the first inning and not have a challenge left, right? So if it was a call that was an obvious missed call, then yeah, sure, you use your challenge there. But on something so bang bang with Naylor hitting right behind, yeah, I kind of agree with it.
So one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of moments.
Right.
Well, now that commercial break, yes, I finally broke my drought of finally winning a softball champion after being second place too many times, after having a tournament taken away by the rain. But here's the ironic thing. So semifinals, I did this, gave up just one run after, and 0 extra base hits, and also hit a 3-run home run myself. So we won 15-1, obvious. Then the finals, nice. The championship game happened. The game got rained out, and the other team didn't even have players. So I was gifted a championship. Now, knowing that my church tournament got canceled because of rain, and then I ironically win because of rain, would you call that or poetic justice?
So, all right. So you guys win a semifinal 15-1. You show up to the final and there's not enough players, so you get handed the trophy.
And it rained.
Yeah, I don't think I can give you props on this championship because you didn't even play the championship game.
You're gonna,
you gotta at least play it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, don't get me wrong. I wanted to. It's not like I chose. It's not like we as a team, us team were like, are we going to play? We should play. I really want to play. But at this point, with what I went through in the last 11 years, I'm still going to take it, but it does not change on that I still want a championship for other teams that I play for, including my team. This was just to get kind of monkey off my back.
There you go.
That would not go away.
Well, the monkey is then off the back. You
now
got
here's
your
going to be
ring.
a fly ball drilled to right field. Forget about that one. A solo home run for the Blue Jays, and just at a blink of an eye, Springer, the former Astro, a 1-0 game on a home run. I had to interrupt because the first pitch, kaboom. Oh my goodness. Look what just happened.
Yikes.
I know you're about to see it.
Yeah,
It's always
pitch,
the former Astro. Oh, of course they got to do the jacket.
I want to see where the fastball. It was right on the outside corner of the plate.
Well, that's the problem. Concerns I had about Bryce Miller. He is a very fastball dependent pitcher. He doesn't mix up his pitch as well.
Well,
and
you
now
know
here
what I
is the
will
pitch,
say,
and that's a strike.
What I will say is that was actually a good pitch located on the outside. That was also an even better piece of hitting right there by George Springer. So,
I mean, it is George
it is.
Springer, and then George Springer, and this is a team that George Springer loves to beat up on. And now the pitch, that's going to be up high for a ball.
They have a home run jacket.
Yeah, they do home run jacket, and we do the Trident.
Yeah, but we started this. We started the trend of the home run thing. You know what I mean? Like now every team has got like something to put, to
swing and
celebrate.
a miss strike too.
Like Detroit had the Little Caesars pizza staff, or
they did.
Caesar. Yeah, it was so dumb. And the jacket's dumb too, by the way. I think that's really dumb.
I like the Vader helmet. I like the Vader helmet better when they did that. And now the 1-2 pitch,
sure.
And that's going to be a foul ball. The Trident, I think, is just a little bit. It's just a bit overdoing it.
Hokey? Yeah, it's hokey. Yeah, for sure.
The helmet, it was just more simple. And you're not like showing off. You're just doing it in the dugout. But the Trident, you're like, yeah, suck it. Now we're at 1-2. Low for a ball. And Bryce Miller is already feeling rattled from pitch home run by George Springer. But we know that's how the starters operate in Seattle, is they always give up that initial home run, that very early home run. Now we're at 2-2. And now here is the pitch. And that's going to be foul ball again. And they're ready to Bryce Miller real quickly. 7 pitches already. It's already a 1-0 game. Toronto has scored in first innings in 4 of the last 5 games. So it's not like this thing surprised anyway, so it seems. The 2-2. And that's going to be popped up again. And they're really fighting this off. Blue Jay fans are very happy about it. Personally, I've never been to Toronto. I mean, I have a desire to go just to watch a Mariners game, but it's definitely not near the top of my bucket list, if you were to ask me. We're at 2-2.
Yeah, that buddy asked me today if I was making the drive to Toronto. And I said, no, I'm not.
How far is Toronto from
Not
Detroit?
that far. It's not that far. It's like an hour from my house. A little bit over an hour.
What?
From my house. Not that far.
You should have went. This was like this is like a once in 20-year experience. You'll be 60 by the time they make the playoffs like this.
Yeah, but I have to work at 3 o'clock. I'm up at 3 for work tomorrow, so yeah, I can't do it.
Don't you have PTO to burn?
I do, as a matter of fact, but I don't want to pay the freight for a playoff ticket.
I understand. Now we're at 3-2.
By the way, why would I pay for gas, get across the border, get into Toronto, and spend $300 on a playoff ticket,
and fouled again,
and then have to drive my candy ass back from Toronto, get 2 hours of sleep just to wake up, and go to work tomorrow? That doesn't sound pretty good. That doesn't sound good.
No, you just ask for the day off, man.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
You burned me.
I will be back, by the way, if the Mariners make the World Series. I will be back in Seattle for the World Series parade. Because my thought is that if the Mariners do get to the World Series, they'll win it. Holy shit! What kind of? Did he just break his leg swinging at a pitch there?
Yeah, it was a pretty bad swing too by Luke's.
I know, dude. He looked like he swung his leg off right there.
The ball hit off of his knee. That's why.
Oh, I see.
Oh, and it may have because but he still got up and
Oh yeah, it was a foul ball right off his knee. Ooh, ouch. Doink. Ooh.
But yeah, now that oh, we got Vlade.
He likes to
Remember,
pate.
I still remember when you and Brian Abker were saying, yeah, the Mariners should at least try to get Vlad Guerrero Jr. on. I remember that conversation with Brian Abker, and now
why
also,
not?
Did you see that South Korea got butts whooped 5-0 to Brazil? Do you think that was more of a Brazil offense, or do you think it's more of a organizational problem with Korea?
Well,
I think
number one, I wonder if Korea rotated against Brazil, knowing that they're already in. But it's also still Brazil. And that's the thing with Ancelotti, is that there is a certain expectation from those that are playing.
3-2. Foul
even
ball
though
again.
Even though Brazil doesn't have the names that they used to have, they're still a dangerous team, and that's what happens when you fuck around and find out about what Brazil is all about. They're still a pretty good team.
Now we're at 3-2, and already 12 pitches from Miller. I'm already sensing a pitch. And ball 4, take your base, and the fans are really getting after it. They're really showing the intimidation of the Blue Jays, which is why I really hope Mariner fans get their tickets before the Blue Jay fans do. Because if we get Blue Jay fans outnumbering us in Seattle, that's going to be embarrassing.
Nah, T-Mobile will be filled with Mariner fans.
You would hope, and it better be the case. As we got Valero Jr. up to the plate, now the pitch, and that's going to be a ball. And looks like Bryce Miller is getting a little bit timid. And Gamer 11 says, "Holy crap, this game's already over."
No, it's not.
I'm already. I don't blame him for saying it though.
That's the thing. It's like even the curmudgeons of curmudgeons, right? And I am certainly one of those people, right? Is like, well, it's only the first, right? Now, if we're down 3 and it's like the 6th, yeah, probably. But at least I will give this team 5 innings worth of offense to see if they can at least tie or take the lead.
Especially in a more... Oh, no, here's a fly ball. Oh, right to Julio Rodriguez. The fans were really... Woo! Who else is going to pitch? They're already skyrocketing his pitch count. It's going to be the bullpen day, I'm telling you. Maybe Emerson Hancock gets an opportunity. He hasn't pitched at all in this entire play series, and this entire postseason alone.
La-di-die. Who else is going to pitch? And they're already scared. Yeah, but by the way, he's going to go 5. He's going to go 5 regardless. They're not going to, unless he gets absolutely torched. He's going 5.
It's going to be a knuckle curve for a ball. And the crazy thing about ALCS starters, I can name every single ALCS starter since 1995. Game 1, Bob Wolcott in 95. Okay. 2000, Freddie Garcia. 2001, Aaron Seeley. And 2025, Bryce Miller, the pitch. And that is outside for a ball 2-0. That's how much little history the Mariners have with the postseasons. That,
by the way,
I mean, name all 4 starters.
Who pitched in Game 2, 95?
It was Tim Belcher, the man who broke a camera in the ALDS against Oral Hershiser. Let's keep playing this game. The pitch, up high for a ball, 3-0.
Game
Yeah,
3.
why don't we do that? Let's
Game 3, Cleveland.
Game 3 was Randy Johnson.
Game 4, Bosio.
Andy Bennis. Oh, no, it was Bennis.
Yeah. It was Bennis, then
Game
Bosio.
5, Bosio. And now the
Bosio
3-0.
was 5.
And that is a strike.
I forgot that. Chris Bosio. That's right. The Boz was still here.
Game 6 was Randy Johnson because they felt they were going to do or die. Some felt that Bob Wolcott wouldn't have been. They were.
They definitely.
As we're at 3-1. We're at 3-1, and now here is the pitch. And that is outside for ball 4. And I think this is a good time for Pete Woodward to come out and go have that little conference. Let's have Dan Wilson out, because remember when Bob Wolcott loaded the bases, like literally, Lou Piniella went up to Bob Wolcott going, "Hey, relax. We don't care if you get beat 11-0. Just relax, have fun.
Son, just settle down."
And that's what he needs to do. And that's why Cal Raleigh's coming out. And I think this is a good time for Dan to come out too. Maybe Dan Wilson does remember this. 95, Bob Wolcott loaded the bases for Albert Bell. That was when Albert Bell, he struck out after Dan Wilson talk. Then he got Eddie Murray to pop out. And then an amazing play by Joey Cora off the hit by Jim Thome before he got his prime to get out of the first inning. So that's why I don't know, unless Cal Raleigh is enough, who knows?
What does their hoodie say? Mariners built for all, built for. What does that say? No, these are the things that I pay attention to. These little subtle details, but I think it was a mistake going with Bryce on 3 days rest. Would have went with Castillo. He only threw 15 pitches. Yeah, probably.
That's what I'm thinking too. It's not like he pitched the whole thing.
And here's Mr. Mariners
pitch.
killer, Alejandro Kirk.
Yeah, we saw that game together, I think. The Blue Jays scored by a George Springer home run on the very first pitch. And I did see that. It kind of did feel like it was down the middle, so I didn't like the pitch. Who?
I'm going to find out real quick.
Now we're at 1-0 for Alejandro, who beats up the Mariners. And now the pitch. And that's going to be popped up and fouled. And I really do sense a bullpen day already. As now we're at 1-1.
Oh, okay.
Now here is the pitch. Up high for a ball.
This dude's name in Korea is the Milkmaster.
Yep, that's what he calls himself.
The Milkmaster PD. That's interesting.
As we're at 2-1. And that's going to be a time called. And I don't like this. But you can get out of this inning with a simple double play.
Correct.
So Bryce Miller should probably pitch a little bit lower because he's pitching a little bit too high.
How about a nice little slider running on the outside corner of the plate? And
he's still pitching fastballs. And well, he pitched a sinker ball, but the sinker went almost right down the middle. He's pitching too many middle pitches.
You know why I don't like your sinker? Why? Because the damn thing don't sink.
As now we're at 2-2 for Alejandro Kirk. Got men on second and first.
Hey, Blackout, come here for a second. You know what? You know what's interesting is I don't like your curveball. As a matter of fact, I hate your curveball. I didn't trade for you for your curveball. Do you know why? Why? Because the damn thing don't.
The 2-2. And now here's going to be a pop-up going into center field. Who's got it? It's going to be Jorge Polanco. He makes the catch. I was like, hey, talk, guys. You don't want to be crashing into each other. And now we got 2 outs.
Because the damn thing don't curve.
Next up to the plate is going to be Dalton Varsho. I think he was also another Mariner. And it's not like the ones that were killing the Mariners were like the big guys. It was really just all their middling guys were the ones that were killing the Mariners.
Yeah, I'm a big Dalton Varsho guy. I think he's a good ball player.
He's a 438. And now here's going to be a fly ball to center field, but Julio's there and he makes the catch. And that's going to retire side and say that this kind of an outing was a little bit. and reminiscent slightly to Bob Wolcott's 95, with the exception of a home run. Kind of similar. Like
But
walks and
they limited the Jays to the Jays to the dinger. So I'll tell you what, man, it could have been a lot worse, but I'll say
it
this.
should have been.
It should have been a lot worse, but I'm glad that he was able to find a way out of this jam, and now it's time for the Mariner offense to get to work.
Give me I'm going to do starting pitchers for the rest in history.
Okay.
So 2000 game Garcia
Hold
versus
on,
Denny Nagel.
whoa. 97.
What? Well, 97.
The
No,
97
we're doing ALCS.
Okay. Go ahead. 2000.
Yeah. 2000 Freddie Garcia game 1. Game 2 was John Halama. Game 3 was Aaron Seeley. Game 4 Paul Abbott. Game 5 Freddie Garcia. Game 6 John Halama.
John
Halama.
Yeah, he actually had a good
pitched,
year.
He pitched very well in those 2 games, but then the bullpen screwed it up for him, and it was mostly by Jose Mesa.
Quick trip down memory lane. I was at Game 4 at T-Mobile Park. Paul Abbott versus Roger Clemens. And if it wasn't for an Al Martin double down the right field line, I would have seen a Roger Clemens no-hitter. True story. I was actually upset at Al Martin.
That was actually That was also the last game the Mariners wore their black Seattle jerseys. And I missed those. I actually love those. I wish they bring those back. That should have been our Seattle Connect.
Would you guys rather have played the Yankees or the Jays? Because we would have had home field advantage. I actually think that our path to the World Series is better through the Jays than the Yankees. That, don't get me wrong, a part of me wanted the Yankees just to get that Yankee filth, that taste out of my mouth off the back, right? Because of 2000 and 2001. Granted, completely different team, I understand it, but it's the Yankees, and I would rather have gone through New York to get to a World Series. But I think that we're just better than the
But
Blue
Yankees usually have the Mariners numbers too. So what home field advantage or not, it doesn't really matter. And Yankees feast on the Mariners. But granted, Joe Torre has no respect for that Yankees team. He says that team is a bunch of losers, basically.
Ooh, ouch.
It's not the Yankees that he managed. Yeah, Joe Torre called them out.
They're a bunch of losers. Either what did Jack Kirkman say? I understand. He's like, they're a bunch of losers, either by birth or by choice.
Oh, Jack Parkman from Major League.
Yeah, Jack Parkman.
Oh, remember this? Normally, here comes Suarez. I was going to say more, but we back from the break, and now the pitch, and that's going to be a foul ball. You know what's the scary thing is? I can summarize every single ALCS game, and I'm going to do that on next commercial break from 95 to now. That's kind of scary.
Well,
that's how much little history we have.
2001, it was what's his bucket pitch game
Suarez.
5 against the Indians. Jamie Moore pitched game 5 against the Indians, so he wasn't available for game 1. Who pitched game 1 in 2001?
Well, let's talk about it in commercial break, and because we still have the Mariners on the offense, and we got Suarez who's batting .095, unfortunately.
Because we were going up against
now the
Pettit
pitch.
in game
Now here's
1.
the fly ball to camera angles, and he's out. It looked really good from that angle. And they're talking about trades, and yes, had the Mariners not even make one of those trades, they don't even get close to the division. Astros would have been in. First LCS position.
I don't know. Don't get me wrong, right? Like if you're saying that, Gino was a good trade just based on vibes, like I don't know how you can, quantify vibes. You know what I mean? But yeah, I guess you can say from a locker room standpoint, sure. Oh yeah, that was a good camera angle right there. That was great camera angle right there.
He was basically Julio's babysitter. And now here's the pitch to Canzone. It's not exactly the time to do it, especially he's not really exactly known for his speed. Canzone in the postseason is batting 1 for 6. He had that RBI in game 4 against Detroit. Now we're at 1-1. And now the pitch. swing and a miss, strike 2. And we've all agreed to it. Canzone either has a beautiful home run swing aside from Ken Griffey Jr., or he just has the ugliest strikeout swing. As now we're at 1 and 2. Now the
I thought Canzone, by the way, Canzone
check
had,
swing. Did he go? He did not.
I thought Canzone, by the way, had an unbelievably great turnaround this season.
Would you say would you say at this point that the Seawald trade and the Canzone trade's more of a wash at this point? Now the pitch, and that's going to be 3 and 2 because the trade was Paul Seawald for Canzone, Josh Rojas, and Ryan Bliss. I think it's starting to become more of a split, but it did get the Diamondbacks to the World Series.
No. It's still a Diamondbacks win because of the impact Seawald had immediately.
3-2. And strike 3 called. He doesn't even swing at that one. That was a meatball pitch right there, and that's going to be 2 outs.
And we don't know exactly how Canzone is going to turn out. We don't even know if he's going to be around long term, or if this season is going to be used as a trade propeller to get better. You know what I mean?
So it's going to be one of those that's going to take another trade possibly just to maybe make it a wash. It may not.
Because Rojas and Bliss.
Disaster. Bliss, even with Bliss healthy, I don't think he would have made the team any better because his defense was atrocious.
Correct.
And his hitting was very And then Rojas was just bad. He was good on defense, but that's about it.
Rojas had his moments, but consistency was not his strong suit.
Now we're at 1 and 1 for Victor Robles, and Mariners are not looking good so far. They had a good scare of an inning in the first inning, but they did nothing with it. And now we're at 1 and 1. The pitch. Now here's going to be a ground ball foul.
All gas, no brakes, huh?
And and once we get to commercial break, we will talk. I will name every single starter from the 2001 American League Championship Series. And by the way, American League Championship Series seems to be the Mariners' Achilles heel. It really is, because they've lost in every single one of them. All 3 of them, 95, 2000, and 2001. Now 1 and 2.
Yeah, which
and strike 3 called. That was outside the strike zone, but the umpire thought otherwise. And that's going to retire the side. And we are going to go into the bottom of the second. Blue Jays still lead 1-0. And now game 1, 2001.
Hold on real quick. Which also, is a reminder how important game 1 is, right? If the Mariners are serious about getting to the World Series, they have to figure out a way to win tonight.
They have to. And now,
game 1, 2001.
Aaron Seeley versus Andy Pettitte.
Game 2.
Mike Mussina versus Freddie Garcia.
Game 3.
I think it was El Duque versus Jamie Moyer.
Good. Game 4.
Roger Clemens versus Paul Abbott. And believe it or not, Paul Abbott was pitching a no-hitter going into the 6th inning.
He was. Game 5.
Game 5. Oh.
Aaron Seeley.
Yep. And if Lou Piniella actually looked at the stats,
in New York,
if Lou Piniella looked at the stats of Aaron Seeley in the playoffs, he would have been like, "Oh, hell no!"
Yeah, but he had a 15-win season that year, and he was one of their most consistent starters, right? You understand why Lou did it, but also the fact that we didn't make a trade at the deadline, and it left us with broken down Jay Buhner playing left field in game 1.
Who struck out, by the way.
Yeah, against Pettitte. Yeah, for sure. All right, so let's go 97 game 1.
Randy Johnson versus Mike Mussina.
Game 2.
Jamie Moyer.
Game 3.
Jeff Fassero versus Jimmy Key, the most underrated Mariner playoff performance in history.
By the way, I forgot that Jimmy Key was still pitching in 97. Game 4.
Mussina versus Johnson, and Johnson went all 9 innings. Lou did not let the bullpen do anything.
Yeah.
And game 5 would have been Ken Cloud.
All right, wild card round, game 1, 2022.
Luis La Piedra.
Yep. Game 2.
Robbie Ray.
Game 3.
There was no game 3 because they swept them.
I know. Just checking. Game 1 in Houston.
Justin Verlander versus Logan Gilbert.
Game 2.
La Piedra.
Game 3.
George Kirby.
Good job.
Now to summarize the entire playoff games, every single one of them. I can practically do it. 1995, Game 1. ALDS, it was Andy Bennis against Andy Pettit, I think. But we're back from the break, so here we go. Now the pitch, and that is a strike, and that is Clement up to the plate. I wonder if he has any relationship with Jeff Clement. This is Ernie Clement. I'm going to look it up and see if he has any kind of relationship with the Jeff. And now we're at 0-1. And now here is the pitch. And that's going to be popped up. And that might go to Cal Raleigh, and he gets it. And that's going to be out. It's going to be 1 out.
Hey, by the way, you were wrong about 95 Game 1.
I know it was Bennis.
I'm looking at it right now.
What was it?
No. Yankees beat the Mariners. The Yankees beat the Mariners 9-6.
Ken Griffey Jr. had 2 home runs
in the 7th. Yep, the Yankees scored 4 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th, and that did us in. But starting for the Mariners in Game 1 was Chris Bosio. He went 5 2/3. Nelly came in for a third.
Oh no! Here's a line drive, and that is a base hit. Oh my gosh! Victor Robles just let it he just let it go past him, and now that's an extra base hit. And now we got a runner on second base with just 1 out. That was Anthony Santander. How did Victor Robles let that through? You're about to see it, and you're about to be disgusted by it.
No, my stream is acting up here.
It bounced, and he somehow let it pass by. This is not how you want to start an American League Championship Series. Just an awful bounce. I mean, granted, it does bounce, but still, you gotta feel that. Now here is Jimenez, and now the pitch, and that's gonna be a strike. Just 48 hours ago, I was just so happy with an ALDS win, and now I'm thinking I am horrified for the ALCS, and I knew I was going to be.
Yeah, I can't get my stream to work, so. But yeah,
and that's gonna be popped up to Jorge Polanco, and he makes the catch, and that's going to be 2 outs.
Yeah, so Nelly went a third of an inning, gave up a run. Ayala went a third of an inning, gave up 3. Risley went 2/3 and had a good outing, and then Bobby Wells went 1 and gave up a run. That was Game 1.
Bob Wells, the 1996 Mariners Pitcher of the Year by the Seattle Baseball Writers. What kind of award is that? That's like a glorified participation trophy, if you ask me. Now here's George Springer. He is 1 for 1. He hit that home run. Now the pitch, and that's going to be a strike. Game 2 was when Griffey hit a home run to keep the Mariners in the game. And then Jimmy Leyritz in the bottom of the 15th inning hit the home run against Tim Belcher. And then Tim Belcher, little do people know, he went on a huge tirade immediately after the game. Now, here's going to be a ground ball right to J.P. Crawford. He has it. The throw to first, and that's going to be in time. And that's going to retire the side after a scare of an error by Victor Robles. Mariners get out of it anyway, and we're going to the top of the third. This is what exactly he was like. He throws his glove and goes, "Get those mother effing cameras off me, you mother effers. What kind of BS is that? Yeah, get these cameras out there. I'll break every GD one of them. You blank mother effers, all of you, all the bleeping thing. Why the bleep is everyone here? BS." Then he just go into the locker room, and Lou Piniella just walks in. And he's like, "Did I miss something?" Like the rest of the team just walks in right after Tim Belcher threw his glove and broke a camera.
Yeah, I know that 15 inning one was magical.
And then game 3 happened when Randy Johnson did what he must, striking out Don Mattingly with the bases loaded. And speak of, out of all teams, it was the Mariners that ended Don Mattingly's only opportunity to win a World Series.
Hmm.
And
I
ironically,
think I may have found a stream. I think I may have found a stream here.
game 3 was that along, I don't know who. Oh, Tino Martinez hit a home run. Game 4, when the Mariners were like down 5-0, and Edgar Martinez got them back into the game along with Ken Griffey Jr. Then Edgar hit the grand slam against John Wetland.
I
Then they
gotcha.
won. Game 5, Joey Cora hits a home run. Then it was like Paul O'Neill. And I think Don Mattingly had like a 2-run double. And then Griffey tied the game. Or Jay Buhner had a broken bat single. Griffey ties the game. Randy Johnson comes in. He gives up a run, unfortunately. And then Joey Cora's bunt, Ken Griffey Jr. single, Edgar Martinez the double, which it's the moment that Mariner fans still talk about to this day. Oh, Kevin Kirby goes, tired of all these managers worried about long-term. It's the playoffs. Got to play the best guys. Did you guys hear Tigers announcer got caught in the hot mic after game 5? Yeah. And we all
What did
know
he
that
say? What did he say?
he just swore a lot. He was that mad.
I gotcha. Well,
Did you know that Paul Sewald was on the Tigers this year too? And the camera actually pointed to him that he was actually on the brink of tears.
why? Because the Mariners won.
Yeah, it was his former team, and he was like, "Man, I could have been part of that too."
Yeah, could have been part of that. They brought back Gino. Why didn't they bring back me?
They have a point. I mean, they would have had to just. I think they should have gotten Paul Sewald because they would have just paid the second half of his contract, which was a 1-year $7, and he could have brought some kind of stability to the bullpen because Mariners have no stability in that bullpen.
Well, when the Tigers traded for him, he was still injured, right? So it took a minute for him to come off the injured list. But yeah, it all depends on what Paul Sewald we're getting back.
So
are
probably
we getting the guy we traded? Are we getting the guy that we traded, or are we getting the guy that is coming to the end of his career?
He's coming to the end of his career at this point. He's like 35, 36 years old.
Exactly.
And now here's J.P. Crawford, the pitch. Now here's going to be a ground ball right to the second baseman, throw to first, and that's going to be in time. Paul Sewald was actually my favorite reliever in the last 5 years for the Mariners.
Me too. That dude.
He was, and now they're showing Dan Wilson when he was just a youthful man. He was a catcher from 94 to 2005, a part of all 3 ALCS runs.
And it looks like right now, Tom Verducci is interviewing Mr. Dan Wilson.
Yeah, they did. They do that there and there. And now it's going to be a Rosarena, and that's going to be a ball. A Rosarena did work the count very well, just that it ended with a ground ball, unfortunately. Now we're at 1-0. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a strike.
Yeah, look at that young Dan Wilson. I remember when he got traded.
Beautiful. Yeah, it was the package with Brett Boone that brought in Bobby Ayala and Dan Wilson.
Yep.
Little do people know. Now the pitch, and that's going to be a foul ball. That was also considered a cost-cutting move at the time because Brett Boone actually had some potential.
Mm-hmm. By the way, where did Danny Wilson play his college ball at?
I don't know.
The University of Minnesota.
Wouldn't have known. Now we're at 1-2, and now here's the pitch. And a swing and a pop-up, and Guerrero was there, and he makes the catch, and that's going to be 2 outs. And now it's big dumper Cal Raleigh. Let's see if he can get a home run. And deep down, he's going to go for a home run with 2 outs. That's what he's going to go for.
Yeah, we need some runs, bud.
And I think he's just going to try to go for a home run because it is 2 outs. And now here's the pitch. And of course he's going for it because he swung at the dirt, and that's going to be strike 1. He singled in the first. He's batting .409 in the postseason. Let's see if he can continue that momentum going into Toronto. And now the 0-1 pitch. Way low for a ball, and that is going to be ball one.
He has 11 multi-homer games. That's tied for most in Major League history. And he also
1-1.
in,
Now here's the fly ball and fouled. Of course. 60 home run club.
Yep.
He's only the 7th player in Major League history to reach the 60 home run mark. He has joined company with Babe Ruth, Roger Maris, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, Barry Bonds, and Aaron Judge. A very good club to be a part of.
Oh yeah.
And now we're at 1-2 for the big dumper. Fans are up on their feet. And now here is the pitch. And it's outside for a ball, and that is going to be 2-2.
El Dumperino.
That was just out. That was outside. That was an 86-mile-an-hour splitter by Gosman.
It's kind of wild to think that Cal Raleigh is a part of the 60 home run club.
It is wild, and he may never, and I hate to say it, he may never replicate that again. As we're at 2-2, now the pitch. And a swing and a miss at the dirt for strike 3, and that's going to retire the side. We will go into the bottom of the 3rd inning, and it's going to be Vladimir Guerrero Jr. will be due up. And now we're going to go into the 95 ALCS of reminiscence. It was game 1. Bob Wolcott already explained it, had the bases loaded, got out of it. Lou Piniella talked him out of it, basically. Mike Blowers hit a 2-run home run, which got the Mariners into a 3-2, I think it was a 2-1 victory. Game 2, Oral Hershiser was just too much.
Yep.
They scored 5 runs, the Indians, but Griffey and Buhner hit last-minute home runs, kind of ish. Game 3 was Randy Johnson. He was dominant. Jay Buhner hit a home run, but then Jay Buhner missed time to fly ball to right field. And then he redeemed himself in the extra innings with a 3-run home run. And they took a 2-1 lead, and that was pretty much their peak. And then Game 4, 7-0 Cleveland Massacre, all over Andy Bennis. That 5 ERA would do it. Game 5, the Mariners actually had a 2-1 lead with a Griffey oopsie bloop single. And then Jim Thome 2-run home run against Chris Bosio. And then Game 6, Randy Johnson, you're supposed to be the man. Come on. Oh, nope. It was 2-0. Yep. Mariners bats were ass. And then, oh boy, a wild pitch where it scored. It was 1-0, sorry. It scored in a guy, and then Kenny Lofton went all the way from second base on a wild pitch that barely just popped out of Dan Wilson's glove. And when you saw Kenny Lofton running, Dan Wilson basically said, oh crap! And he threw it he was like, oh shit!
I remember.
Kenny Lofton, and then Carlos Baerga.
And as soon as Lofton scored, you kind of knew it was over.
And then Carlos Baerga hit a home run. It was like, okay, it's really over. Then Lou Piniella was like, all right, Norm Charlton. So that was 95. 2 years later, 97, because I don't want to talk about what happened in this year. I still have
You gotta love these guys. Brought to you by Eagle Hardware and Garden.
Using Gloria Estefan's 96 Olympics music. Gonna reach. Gonna reach. Gonna reach. Oh! Gonna reach. That was actually the remix version, too. That wasn't even the original version.
That's funny.
It must have been cheaper to use that one. And it was more to its touchings, I guess. But it was still funny that the Mariners made a movie about themselves on 96 based on a season they didn't even make the playoffs. But they're like, oh, but check out our bats. We had Danny Wilson hitting 18 home runs.
But any opportunity to make money off a $20 video that you might sell a couple thousand worth, yeah, they'll do it.
$14.95.
There you go. And I'm sure they sold quite a few of those copies.
Yeah, because how else was there ways to access Mariners highlights back then? Now the pitch.
That's exactly right.
And a swing and a miss, that's strike 1. And the funny moment I had with that, I was watching that with my father. And right when the credits roll with the jazzy Mariners music, my foot somehow got caught on the lamp and I knocked it down. We just went from enjoying Mariners highlights, watching Griffey Edgar hit everything and A-Rod, and then I knocked down a lamp. Not that one. Oh, one. It's not that one. As you know, I'll show you which one it was. And worst case scenario,
I know it, but that's my favorite.
it is, and they stopped using it, which is tragic. And now it's 1-1. Now the pitch, and that's going to be popped up into left field, and that's going to be a run for it, and Rosarena makes the catch. Here, I will give you a treat. I will play the Mariners jazzy music. Remember in Mariners games where they just roll the credits and they played the Mariners jazz music, and then some random guy goes, "Tomorrow the Mariners will be playing this game."
No.
Okay.
Maybe.
Well, no, you'll see it. Okay, here it is. And now here is Guerrero Jr. And now the pitch. And that's going to be in there for a strike. And for the most part, Bryce Miller has actually settled down ever since that disastrous first. I mean, it was like just one little home run. And you can't say the game's over because at this point, it's now on the offense to put in the runs. Bryce Miller is doing what he could. And now the pitch. Now here's going to be a ground ball foul. I mean, the Mariners, if you were somewhat a preference man, most fans would have preferred the Blue Jays, I guess, over the Yankees because for some odd reason, the Yankees just happen to have the Mariners numbers. But we've also seen it where the 90s Mariners and the early 2000s Mariners also had the Yankees numbers, but then playoffs, it didn't matter. The pitch, and that's going to be 1-2. 2000, they did pretty well against the Yankees, then get beat up. 2001, they actually even swept the Yankees in a series and then got beat up. And most would say that it was because of the 9/11 patriotic spirit that the Yankees had, to the point that Mets fans were cheering for the Yankees during that season. The 1-2. Now here's a ground ball right to J.P. Crawford. Throw to first, and that is in time, and that's going to be 2 outs. And I'm also
at the end of
uploading
at the end of this inning, I got to hop off. So
after the bottom of the third.
Correct.
Do you mind staying for that Mariners jazz music that was done?
Yes, of course.
All right. As long as this doesn't go too long.
Music. Mariners jazz.
Now the pitch. And now here's going to be a ground ball right to Naylor and the first. And that is in time, and that's going to retire the side. It is uploading right now, so it is taking a little bit of time. The wheels are spinning. And the game will be back after this timeout. Now I just got to get this video up. Like, it's just taking its sweet butt time. But I have other ways of doing it. Yeah, it's going to take a bit. I'll just go to my channel and play through it. Oh, here it is.
Finally, for the first time since 2001, the Mariners are going to the American League Championship Series to take on the Toronto Blue Jays. And if you're going to the games, whether in Toronto or Seattle, use my promo code Rooftop Sports to get $20 off the purchase. And go Mariners.
Of course I've heard that. Yeah. The jazz, yeah, but it's just like the jazz version of the actual intro.
I know.
With a lot of horns. Yeah, I do remember that.
I did that at the end of whenever the Mariners won the series or swept, and they had, when they do that, I always rolled out that montage because I'm still trying to keep 90s nostalgia spirits alive, but not in the way Mariners fans do. They're like, oh, 95 this, but they don't understand everything else. They just think 95, but they don't understand, well, everything else. But you said you got to go.
Yep.
You're hopping off. And
Take care, guys.
I could really use Josh.
Have a good night, guys.
Good night. Go Mariners, and let's get this done. Let's get going. Josh, where are you? Mariners need some offense. I think Josh is doing this on purpose. I think he's avoiding these games on purpose. Well, I might as well reminisce the other game. So it was 97, game 1. Randy Johnson versus Mike Mussina. First, the Orioles jumped out to a 1-0 lead. Then Edgar hit a home run to tie the game. And then the Blue Jays just stomped on Randy Johnson. Just stomped on him embarrassingly. Oh, we got a new player out there in right field. It's going to be Miles Straw going to be playing. It's like they're just changing things up a bit. And now here is Julio Rodriguez. And now here is the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. Now we're at 0-1. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball again. And that's going to be strike 2. This game is rolling along, but it is horrifying that the Mariners have yet to score. And they maybe in hindsight, they should have challenged Cal Raleigh's when he was possibly safe at home. And now the 0-2 pitch. And check swing, did he go? He did go, and that is going to be 1 out. Just complete undisciplined swinging by Julio Rodriguez. Just absolutely frustrating.
I really don't think they're that good, but I mean they're good.
Now here's Jorge Polanco. And that's going to be outside for a ball. Polanco was the hero of Game 5 of the American League Division Series.
That's true.
And now we're at 1-0. And now the pitch. Low for a ball. MLB live stream. Who are these people? So much comments. Bunch of troll comments, I'll say that. And thank you, Macaroni Cheese, for giving me $1. Now the magic number's 49. And now the pitch to Polanco. And now it's going to be a ground ball foul. Mariners are struggling to even get anyone on base. They haven't gotten anyone on base since the top of the first inning. And now we're at 2-1. Toronto is a very scary place to play. As now we're at 2-1. Now the pitch. Now here's going to be a liner, and that's going to be there's a ground ball liner to Vlad Guerrero Jr., and he got it. And that's going to be 2 outs. Would definitely hate to see the Blue Jays make it to the World Series. They haven't been there since 1993. And the last time they played in the World Series, Joe Carter hit that home run. And it's been 32 years since the Blue Jays have won a World Series. And the Mariners, they've never even been to one. They've gotten close to it. Game 6 was the closest they got to it in the ALCS in 95 and 2000. Now the pitch to Naylor. And that's going to be a ball on the outside. Josh Naylor's batting .250 in this series, in this postseason. And he's going to have to do a lot more than anyone else is doing. And himself. And now the pitch. And that is low for a ball. That is going to be 2-0. And I would actually go yard on this. You're right. Josh Naylor is also Canadian. He is from Ontario in Canada. And now we're at 2-0. And time has been called. Josh Naylor went to the St. Joan of Arc Catholic Secondary School, Mississauga, Ontario, 21 kilometers from the Rogers Center. As now we're at 2-0. Probably was a Blue Jay fan growing up. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball, and that is strike one. As now we're at 2-1. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a fly ball to center field. And nope, that's not going to do it. And he makes the catch, and that's going to retire the side. We are now going into the bottom of the fourth inning, and it is still 1-0 Blue Jays. This series terrifies me. Senor, tell me how you make a thin crust Sahara pizza.
With your hands. Cornmeal.
Hello, baseball fans. I'm excited to announce that we are still offering 50% off pizza and 25% off bowling Monday and Tuesdays. Head on over to Snoqualmie Sahara Pizza. This deal will go through May.
And that's how you make a Sahara pizza. Beautiful thin crust.
Considerably, Bryce Miller has actually pitched pretty well in this game. And now we are back from the break. Now here's Alejandro Kirk. And now here is the pitch. And that is going to be a strike. Especially on a hitter's friendly ballpark. Now the pitch up high for a ball. If you think about it, Rogers Center is basically similar to the Kingdome. So if you think about it, Mariners are playing in the Kingdome and at T-Mobile Park. Now the pitch. And that's going to be low for a ball. Now we're at 2-1. And now the pitch. And that's going to be popped up. And Randy Arozarena is going to be there. And he makes the catch. Bryce Miller has been very efficient in his start. He's been pitching excellent today. It was only that George Springer home run that just happened to get away from them. John Schneider, as a manager, he was drafted by the Blue Jays in 2002, only manager in franchise history to reach postseasons in his first 2 seasons. Now we got Dalton Varsho, and now here's the pitch. And that's going to be a strike. Now we're at 0-1. And now here is the pitch. And that's going to be popped up again, but this time it's going to be well out of play. I think in order to win this series, Mariners have to score like 4 or 5 runs. They ain't going to win with 1 or 2, especially when they're in a more, if they're in a more ballpark, hitters-friendly ballpark in Toronto. They have absolutely no excuses. Their offense has no excuses. As now we're at 0-2. And now here is the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that is going to be 2 outs. Bryce Miller is now working with, that's his first strikeout of the ball game. And it looks like it's the end of the 4th inning already as the Mariners got themselves out of it. Now it's just a matter of how it happened because ESPN is way too far ahead. And now the pitch to Clement. And now here's going to be a fly ball to center field, and Julio is there, and he makes the catch. And that's going to retire the side. We go to the top of the 5th inning. Bryce Miller is actually dealing and wheeling. And we'll be back after this timeout.
We're making half pineapple, half tiki with barbecue chicken. You put the garlic. Put the pineapple on the whole pizza. Remember, they want half pineapple, and the one is going to be tiki tiki. Tiki tiki goes pineapple, garlic, feta cheese, artichoke hearts, and the chicken. And we're gonna spread some barbecue on top. And it's ready. Put it on the oven. Let it run.
Hello, baseball fans. I'm excited to announce that we are still offering 50% off pizza and 25% off bowling Monday and Tuesdays. Head on over to Snoqualmie Sahara Pizza. This deal will go through May.
He might have still been out, but at least try. Yep. Just imagine losing this game 1-0, not challenging that call in the first inning. Yeah, that would be absolutely devastating. It's one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't. All right, we'll go to game 2 of 97, reminiscing. So it was when Jamie Moyer was the starter. Mariners got 2 runs in real quickly, only to get 9-3 because Jamie Moyer's arm had crapped out, and the Mariners bullpen also crapped out with a Bobby Ayala giving up a home run to Brady Anderson. And then game 3 happened. That was the Jeff Facero game where he retired 18 batters in a row, also followed by RBI singles by Rich Amaral No, I'm sorry, by Roberto Kelly and Ken Griffey Jr. scoring in Rich Amaral twice. He was actually the leadoff hitter. Now here's Eugenio Suarez up to the plate. And the pitch. And that's going to be in there for a strike. With the Mariners' offense that they really do have, I mean, you would think that they would at least get one run in there. As now Kevin Gausman is still wheeling and dealing. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a fly ball popped up. And that is going to be Guerrero. Now the pitch. And now it's going to be a fly ball, and that's not going to get anything done. And he makes the catch. And that's going to be 2 outs, unfortunately. And it just gets worse. Now here's Victor Robles up to the plate. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a fly ball to right field. And that is going to be caught by the right fielder. And he makes the catch. And that's going to retire the side. We go into the very next inning. The bottom of the 5th inning. And this has been a super frustrating game. The offense has been doing absolutely nothing. They're basically giving the middle finger to Bryce Miller. He is pitching everything he possibly can. And yet they're just not giving it to him. Like, where's the run support? Where's the offense? Like, the stuff like this, I don't want to hear anything about the T-Mobile Park ball suppression ever again. Like, before the season started, everyone was talking about how much T-Mobile Park was hurting the offense, and yet people ignored that the Mariners were still winning their games, and now they're in Toronto where it's a more ballpark hitters friendly ballpark, and they still can't even manufacture a run. It's just absolutely frustrating. And now we've got, and that is a strike. Anthony Santander is the hitter. And that's going to be a 1-1 count. And now the pitch. Swing and a miss, and that is strike 2. And they are leaving Miller in for the 5th inning. And honestly, at this point, with the way he's pitching, and he's pitching so well, save the bullpen for future games. Like, let him just keep going. As we're at 0-2. And now here is the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, just like that. Keep him in there. Second strikeout of the game so far for Bryce Miller. Now the pitch. That's going to be a foul ball. Six outs on a four-seam fastball. And now here is the pitch. And now here's going to be a ground ball right to second base. Toss over to first in time, and that's going to be 2 outs. Tomorrow, Mariners will be back at 1 p.m. to go up against the Toronto Blue Jays. And unfortunately, I will not be able to do that game because of hashtag don't quit your day job. And now we got George Springer up to the plate. And now here's the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. 97-mile-an-hour fastball. We're at 0-1. And now here is the pitch. That is going to be way inside for a ball. Now the pitch. And that's going to be a check swing and foul. As now we're at 1-2. And now here is the pitch. Low for a ball. As now we're at 2-2, and now the pitch. Now here's going to be a liner, and that's going to be a foul ball. Now we're at 2-2. Now the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Third strikeout for Bryce Miller, and he is absolutely on fire. But come on, Mariners! Get him the run support he deserves!
Since 2022, I have been building the Rooftop Sports YouTube channel, and I want to thank all of you for your support and engagement. Without all of you, there is no Rooftop Sports. Now, if you would like to take your support to the next level, join my exclusive YouTube membership program for just $5 a month. Get first access to new videos, ad-free content, and exclusive insights from my fantasy sports, as I do play many fantasy sports leagues. Plus, follow along with my softball seasons like never before. You also get access to my own emojis to use to comment on my videos and my live streaming shows. For just $5 per month, become a bigger part of my community and get ready for unparalleled sports experience. Let's do this.
Let's do this. I mean, how could the Mariners? They cannot screw this up. This is a Bryce Miller start. We were not even expecting this kind of a start from Bryce Miller. I won't be able to do tomorrow's game. I will possibly be able to do game 4. No, game 3, that's what it is. I'll be able to do game 4 and 5 for sure because they'll be in. I mean, yeah, because I got those days off. And then after that, it's going to be all on to game 6 and game 7, as I am also set to do those days. Yeah, I mean, they better keep in Bryce Miller. Like, how many pitches does he even have? He has 61 pitches. Got to keep him in there. And we are back from the break, and now here's J.P. Crawford, and that's going to be outside for a ball. Now we're at 1-0, and the pitch. Low for a ball 2. J.P. Crawford is working the count pretty well this time, as the Mariners were just trying to rush it in the last time out. Now we got Varland in the bullpen, as we're at 2-0. And now the pitch. And that's going to be outside for ball 3. And you would think that for Crawford, you would just give it a red light, which I would do because you can't really trust Crawford to make a big hit. And now here's the pitch. Yep, and he wasn't going to swing at it. He was hoping for a walk, and it did not happen. As we're at 3-1. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. As we are now at 3-2. Fans are up on their feet already. They're really trying to intimidate the Mariners. And the pitch. Now here's going to be a ground ball right to second base. And he bobbles it, throw to first. Why didn't you should have ran that out, JP. That was you. You had that. Why didn't you just, not even hustling. And now that's going to be 1 out. When was the last time this team hit a home run? Cal Raleigh. Bryce Miller was absolutely amazing. And now here is Randy Arozarena. And now the pitch. And that was right in there for a strike. That was kind of his pitch to swing at, and somehow he didn't do it. He's batting 160, Arozarena, with only 1 RBI. He has been atrocious in this postseason. Definitely need the 2020 Arozarena. And now the 0-1. Way outside for a ball, and that is going to be 1-1. As we're at 1-1. And now the pitch. And that is a strike, and I definitely question that call because there was no way a Rosarena was going to get a good swing on that. And even the ABS said that that would have been a ball for sure. As now we're at 1-2. And listen to this crowd of Toronto. It's a very intimidating crowd. And now the pitch, way outside for a ball. Surprised he didn't swing at that one because he was looking like he was going to. And now that's going to be 2-2 on Randy Arozarena. Cal Raleigh will be on deck. And with 2 outs, you think that he's going to go for that home run. But Randy's got to do something here. And now the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that is going to be 2 outs. Strikeout number 5 for Gausman. It's just that the Mariners, they never play well against Kevin Gausman. I swear. Kevin Gausman versus Mariners. Kevin Gausman's just too much. And now we've got Cal Raleigh up to the plate. And now here is the pitch. And that is going to be low for a ball. And now we're at 1-0. And now the pitch. And that is low for a ball. And it's 2-0 for Cal Raleigh. Now we're at 2-0. And now the pitch. And that is a strike and another questionable call by the umpire that didn't even hit the strike zone. It really didn't. And now we're at 2-1 for the dumper. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. He didn't even have to swing at that one. Was not sure what Cal Raleigh was doing on that one. And now you're giving yourself every bit of opportunity to strike out. The crowd is up on their feet again. As we are at 2-2. As this place is starting to become the house of horrors for the Mariners. Although they did win 2 out of 3 when they did play in Rogers Center in April, but it may not matter. That was regular season. And that series win was based off of luck. As we're at 2-2 for the dumper Cal Raleigh. And now the pitch. And now here's going to be a fly ball to deep right field, and that is gone. The Mariners tie it up, and they are back in business with a Cal Raleigh home run. Big dumper. Second home run of the postseason. It's the Mariners 1 and the Blue Jays 1. And yep, Cal Raleigh continues to be the murderer of Canada. Now he has become the house of horrors for the Blue Jays. 420 feet. Unbelievable. That is exactly what the Mariners needed. And they are immediately back in business. And you could tell the way he was like this. It was like, yep, that is gone. Like he was holding that bat up like it was a sword. And that was just absolutely bombed. And Kevin Gausman screaming. And now here's Julio Rodriguez. And now here is the pitch. Swing and a miss. And that is strike 1. Mark says, not digging in the fact that some fans are saying that if they lose this game, it will be excusable because no. Wrong. And now the pitch. Inside for a ball. Cal Raleigh with the big dumping home run. As now we're at 1-1. And let's keep Bryce Miller in there too. Do not pull him out. As we're at 1-1, the pitch. And that is low for a ball. And that is 2-1. That is also his 4th career home run against Kevin Gausman. And now we're at 2-1 for Julio. Can he make something happen? As we're at 2-1, and now the pitch. Inside for a ball 3. And looks like Gausman's starting to lose it a little bit. just about 5 minutes ago, I was like, man, the Mariners are in trouble. They can't do this. And now they're very much back into the game. And now the 3-1 pitch. And that is ball 4. Take your base. And now Julio Rodriguez gets on base with a walk. And it's going to be Jorge Polanco. And this is my advice to you, Julio. Steal the base. Go to second because you can put yourself in scoring position. And when Jorge Polanco is in runners in scoring position with 2 outs, he will make a difference. He is one of the best hitters in baseball with runners in scoring position with 2 outs. So Julio, steal second. .76 pitches for Gausman. He is just getting diced up a little bit. Alejandro Kirk is having a conversation. It looks like that's going to be it for Kevin Gausman, as the manager has seen enough. John Schneider has seen enough, and he's going to have the bullpen take care of it. And Kevin Gausman is visibly frustrated, especially that home run, 2-out home run, 2 strikes, and Big Dumper blasted it way out of there. So let's keep it going. Woo! I just want to look up the numbers for Jorge Polanco in the regular season. I'm going to look up these strange analytics. I'm going to say with runners in scoring position with 2 outs. If it's like runners on second with 2 outs, how does Jorge Polanco do? Doesn't even say, doesn't it? That's just fantastic. Okay, let's do this. Jorge Polanco with runners in scoring position with 2 outs. It doesn't even say, unfortunately. Let's see if I can find any kind of splits on here. Maybe it's, I don't know. All right, let's go to splits 2025. So Jorge Polanco, when he has a runner on third base with 2 outs, or I'm looking for something with runner on. It's not even good at this kind of stuff. With men on, Jorge Polanco is a 306 hitter. So he is very clutch. With 2 outs and a runner on first, he's a 222. And now the pitch, and that's going to be a strike. And well, now that the lefty is going to be the pitcher, it's going to be tough to watch Julio Rodriguez steal. And that's going to be 0-1. So they're going with the matchups, which is why they took him out. Now we're at 0-1. And now here is the pitch. Way inside for a ball. That almost hit Polanco. Yeah, they're saying that Julio should still run. I agree. So that Jorge Polanco doesn't have to necessarily rely on the long ball, which the Mariners literally live and die by the home run. As we are at 1-1 so far. Little is trying to keep Julio at first base as much as he can. As now we're at 1-1. And now here is the pitch. Swing and a miss, and that is strike 2. What kind of a swing was that? Was that really necessary? It was not even a good pitch. It was a fastball on the inside. Now we're at 1-2. Polanco is 0 for 2. Definitely need that clutch magic out of Jorge Polanco. And now the pitch. That gets away, and now Julio Rodriguez gets a free bag to second base. And he was kind of looking at third base, but Alejandro Kirk got the ball already. And now it's going to be 2-2. Wild pitch. Now we got a runner on second base. It is 2 outs, though. But this is where Jorge Polanco is at his expertise. Got 2 outs, a man on second. Cal Raleigh is already geared up to be catcher. And now it's going to be 2-2. And now here's the pitch. Low for a ball. And that's going to be, did that hit him? No, it's going to be 3-2. That almost hit him too. Now it's 3-2. Two-out walk. Polanco at a full count, 3-2. And now here is the pitch. And that is going to be a foul ball. Hit off of his foot. But Polanco seems to be okay. A clutch hit would really be nice. George Springer, oldest player in ALCS history to hit a leadoff home run. Didn't know that. Kevin Gausman went 5 2/3 inning with 5 strikeouts, and he gave up the run to Cal Raleigh with the home run. As we are at 3-2 here in Game 1 of the American League Championship Series. As now we're at 3-2. And now the pitch. And now here's a liner to left field, and that is going to be a base hit. Here comes Julio Rodriguez. He's going to score, and the Mariners now take a 2-1 lead on an RBI, 2-out RBI single by Jorge Polanco. Let's go, baby. What a clutch hit by Jorge Polanco. That was a liner to left field, and you knew that Julio was going to score on that. And Gausman is visibly frustrated. And this is all happening with 2 outs. Please, let's keep Bryce Miller in. And now we've got the next hitter. I think it's going to be Josh Naylor up to the plate. Keep this going. And now the pitch. Swing and a miss, and that is going to be strike 1. And it's going to be 0-1 for Naylor. And now the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. What kind of a swing was that? As now we're at 0-2 for Josho. Let's get another run in somehow, some way. But he is 0 for 2, and it's going to be really tough. As we're at 0-2. Here we go. 0-2 count for Josh Naylor. And now the pitch. Low for a ball, and that is going to be 1-2. As now we're at 1-2 for Naylor from Little. Now we're at 1-2. And now the pitch. Oh, throw to first, and back to the bag is Jorge Polanco. And what I'm telling you is this: do not pull Bryce Miller. Bryce Miller is only on 61 pitches. There is no reason to pull him, as we're at 1-2. And now the pitch to Naylor, and a swing and a miss, strike three. A terrible swing by Naylor, and that will retire the side. But the good news is the Mariners tied up this game with a Cal Raleigh home run and Julio and a Jorge Polanco RBI single to give the Mariners a 2-1 lead. And there's really no reason, even with a whole day rest, you still want to rest your bullpen and get them ready for game 2 in case things don't work out. Now, if Bryce Miller gets diced up, then sure, whatever. So it looks like nobody is warming up, according to the Jay Trident podcast. Mariners are, yeah, you know what? I need a break. Give me a break.
Since 2022, I have been building the Rooftop Sports YouTube channel, and I want to thank all of you for your support and engagement. Without all of you, there is no Rooftop Sports. Now, if you would like to take your support to the next level, join my exclusive YouTube membership program for just $5 a month. Get first access to new videos, ad-free content, and exclusive insights from my fantasy sports, as I do play many fantasy sports leagues. Plus, follow along with my softball seasons like never before. You also get access to my own emojis to use to comment on my videos and my live streaming shows. For just $5 per month, become a bigger part of my community and get ready for unparalleled sports experience. Let's do this.
Dan needs to leave Bryce Miller in the game. Absolutely. And looks like he is going to stay, and I really hope he does. If he doesn't, if you're in a casino, put $25 on the Blue Jays. It's really nice to see these commercials for the Mariners. Like, for the longest of time, Mariners were the bunch of losers back then after 2003. They were just embarrassing. It was so bad that you wanted no part of them. Yeah, no one should trust the bullpen one bit, and we are back from the break. Cal Raleigh has 2 home runs in the postseason. Bryce Miller is staying. And now here is the pitch. And that's going to be outside for a ball. This is going to be Straw up to the plate. In the postseason, he is 2 for 5. And let's hope that Bryce Miller can still keep this going. Now the 1-0 pitch. And now it's going to be a fly ball to center field. Someone's got to talk out there. And Julio makes the catch, but you got to call for that. Pat Murphy is making baseball great again. Pat Murphy. Oh, no, not the bullpen's warming up, I guess. But please do not pull him out. Even if he gives up a hit, keep him in there. Pat Murphy for the Milwaukee Brewers. They'll be going up against the Los Angeles Dodgers. And you would think that the Mariners, they want, or that the Major League Baseball, they want the Blue Jays and the Dodgers and the pitch. And this is going to be a strike, and you got to be careful with this guy, Vlad Guerrero Jr. He's batting .474 in the postseason, 3 home runs and 9 RBIs. And now here is the pitch. Low for a ball. Vlad Guerrero Jr. is 0 for 2 so far. Most of the hitters have been completely struggling. Bryce Miller is actually pitching a 2-hit shutout, a 2-hitter so far. As now we are at 1-1 for Vlad. And now here is the pitch. Swing and a miss, and that is strike 2. He got him on a splitter. And that's going to be 1-2. He really got him on that, and Guerrero was trying to hit some kind of a home run, it seemed. As now we're at 1-2. And now here is the pitch. Now here's going to be a ground ball right to Polanco. Throw to first. And that is in time, kind of barely. And that's going to be 2 outs. 2 outs. Only 67 pitches in. There is no reason to pull Bryce Miller right now. He is absolutely on fire. Bryce Miller, 5 innings in. And now here is Barger. Now the pitch. That is going to be inside for a ball. Let's keep this going. Someone is in Toronto. I'm looking at the picture right now. Huge Canadian flag being shown. Showing their Canadian pride because Toronto is in Canada. As now we're at 1-0. Now here's the pitch. And that's going to be inside for a ball. And I think if he ends up walking Addison Barger, which I hope he doesn't, I think Dan Wilson's going to pull him out. But I still don't find it that much necessary either. And I wonder who's going to be next up. It's going to be Dalton Varsho. Now the pitch. And that's going to be a ball again. Ball 3. Dalton Varsho is a lefty, so I think they're going to pull him out for Gabe Spire, which I still would not do. And now the 3-0 pitch. And ball 4, take your base on 4 straight pitches. And please, Dan Wilson, please keep your ass on the seat. And looks like we've got Dalton Varsho. No, it is not it. Please do not pull him out. No! Bryce Miller, just talk him out. No! Okay, it's just Pete Woodworth. You're not going to pull him out. Just having a chatting with him. It's going to be Alejandro Kirk. Yeah, that's why, because Dalton Varsho is not up yet. Yeah, bullpen at least need 1 more inning. And it looks like the velocity is starting to dip a little bit. Bryce Miller doesn't really have a sustainable fastball. That's the problem. Jay Trident Podcast, who's very observant, he has noticed that Bryce Miller's fastball has been going down. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a strike. That is a slider, 87 mile an hour. He's on 72 pitches. I would think maybe it's going for 1 more inning, but it depends where his fastball is at. And if he is not at 96 or 97, I think they're going to pull him out after this inning. But that's going to be leaving with 3 bullpen pitchers at least. And now the pitch. And that's going to be low for a ball. And he is starting to lose it. But you want to get out of this inning so you don't have to play bullpen with this one. As we are at 1-1. And now the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. It was a 96 mile an hour fastball, so I think you can still keep him in there for at least 1 more inning. Alejandro Kirk in the postseason is 0 for 10 with runners on. And he has left 15 runners on. So he has not been ideal, but there's always a room for 1. And now here's the 1-2. by Bryce Miller. And now here's the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. That was on a slider. And he was going for a stolen base. I noticed that Bryce Miller has been mixing it up quite a bit. As now we're at 1-2 on Miller. As we are at 1-2 for Bryce. And now here's the pitch. And that's going to be a fly ball popped up into left field. And Arozarena is there and he makes the catch. And that's going to retire the side. What a performance by Bryce Miller as he is still keeping the Mariners in this game. It's a 2-1 lead right now. And now they're going to go into the top of the 7th inning. And he was still topping out at a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. So there really is been texting with Jay Trident podcast throughout this game. There you go. Take advantage of those idiotic launch angle swings, Jared. Yeah, Miller has been absolutely wheeling and dealing. He's been having an excellent game so far. I want to look at Bryce Miller's numbers and see how deep he usually goes as a starter. I mean, this season he struggled badly because of injuries, but he has rebounded well in the postseason. Like, he has been pitching very well in this postseason, to say the least. All right, let's look at Bryce Miller. We go to game logs of 2025, or might want to do the entire career. Let's just do 2025. Let's see how many pitches he usually goes. He's gone 90, 93, 100. He's gone a 78, 100, 83. But he's been a little bit managed. He has gone up to 99. And then Trident is trying to tell me if there's any. Let's look at the Blue Jays roster. We got Isaiah Kiner Fafella. And now that's the pitch and a swing and a miss. And Eugenio Suarez has been absolutely struggling. And now the pitch. And that's going to be popped up and fouled. So with the people on the bench, they got Miles Straw, Davis Schneider, and they got Isaiah Kiner Fafella. Can't even say his name correctly. And now the pitch, up high for a ball. Next two batters are going to be lefties. Got Dalton Varsho and Ernie Clement. And now the pitch, low for a ball, and that is ball 2. My YouTube feed is extremely behind. As now we're at 2-2. And now the pitch. As we're at 3-2. Varland is the new pitcher, as the last pitcher struggled because he gave up a run to Jorge Polanco, scoring in Julio Rodriguez's last inning. And now here's the 3-2 pitch, and that's going to be a foul ball on a 99-mile-an-hour fastball. Going to need some kind of magic to happen. As we are at 3-2. Full count 3-2. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. And Suarez is actually fighting this. Very good for Suarez on this one. Camera showing to Brian Wu. He is expected to be contributing, especially expected to be available for pitching when it's in the more of the middle of the series, game 3 or game 4, or maybe even game 5. Now the pitch. Now here's going to be a fly ball to center field, and that's still going. And that is off the top of the wall. And now Suarez should be going to second base with a stand-up double. It just hit the top of the wall. And now we got a runner on second base with nobody out. It was just so close. It should have been a home run. Lower the fences! It was a nice hit by Suarez. And T-Mobile, that is definitely a pop-out. Just hit the top of the wall. Oh, are they saying that might be a home run? Are they saying? Nope. And that's going to be low for a ball. As Dom Canzone is up to the plate. And this is a very big opportunity. Huge opportunity for Eugenio Suarez. I'm sorry, for the Canzone to get some more insurance runs, because that's what they are absolutely going to need. Now the pitch. Check swing. Did he go? He did not. And that's going to be 2-0. That was very reminiscent of that huge check swing and miss that he had against the Houston Astros early in the season. And of course, I YouTube shorted myself for that one. Now we're at 2-0. Blue Jay fans very nervous. Now the 2-0 pitch. Now here's going to be a ground ball that will move Suarez to third base, throw to first, and that's going to be in time. And now that's going to be 1 out. But the good news is you do have runner at third base with Victor Robles, and maybe can you, and now does Victor Robles dare to do a suicide squeeze? That's something I would try to do. And now they're playing it very shallow because they want to make sure that Eugenio Suarez has no chance to get home. And now here's Victor Robles up to the plate. Now the pitch. Check swing. Did he go? He did not, and that was really close. Even a wild pitch can get him in too, because looks like this pitcher Varland is losing control. We're at 1-0 thus far. Two to 1 Mariners lead. Top of the 7th. 1-0. Now here's the pitch. Now here's a fly ball and foul. That looks really good. I thought that was going to be a home run. And that would have been an absolute shock. Now we're at 1-1 for Victor Robles. And now the pitch. Swing and a miss, and that's going to be strike 2. Already wasting it. You're about to waste an Eugenio Suarez double. In any other place, that's a freaking home run. Why'd you have to raise the fence? Must be the Toronto way. As we're at 1-2 for Victor Robles. And now the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. What are you even swinging at? And that's going to be 2 outs. And that's why I was trying to call for a bunt, which of course you're not going to do it. You're just not going to. Yeah, they're saying put the ball in play. Now here's J.P. Crawford, which you can't really expect him to do anything. Now the pitch, and that's going to be outside for a ball. 99-mile-an-hour fastball. In the regular season with runners in scoring position, he's a .289 hitter with 4 homers and 46 RBIs. JP's got to do it again. Now the pitch, outside for a ball. Ball 2. Randy Arozarena will be on deck if Crawford can prolong this inning. Camera is going to Kevin Seitzer as we're at 2-0. And now the pitch. And that's going to be outside for ball 3. 3-0 for JP. Still confused why Dan Wilson did not tell Robles to do the bunt. Now we're at 3-0. Now here's the pitch. And that is a strike. I was honestly feeling like, you know what? Just go for it. I was going to give him the green light on that as we're at 3-1 for Crawford. He is 0 for 2. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a strike again outside. And JP just could not believe it. And now JP's having a conversation. It was clearly outside the strike zone. JP could not believe it. As now we're at 3-2 for JP. It's only a 2-1 lead. Now the pitch. Now here's going to be a ground ball right to second base. Throw to first, and that's going to be in time. And that's going to retire the side. I blame this on Victor Robles for being an idiot. Yeah, bad swing by Robles. And now it's time to sing the 7th inning stretch. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, so let's root for the Mariners. If they don't win, it's a shame. It would be a shame because the Mariners have a 2-1 lead. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Aloe. Oh, no, said we gotta go. Yeah. Aloe. Oh, baby, said we gotta go. A fine little girl, she waiting for me. I catch a ship across the sea, and I'll ship all alone. We never think I'll make it home. Aloe. Yeah, no, we gotta go. No, said Loe. Oh, baby, said we gotta go. Yeah. Mariners are gonna have to. Oh, Bryce Miller better be pitching. If he's not pitching, then oh my God, Gabe Spire is pitching. Gotta lie down for a few moments. No. Why Bryce Miller? Why don't you just talk Dan Wilson out of it? Just that you can still do it. Mike Mussina told Joe Torres that down. Please? Can you please at least? Dan Wilson, just give him one more bat. No lefties. It didn't work with Gabe Spire. It won't work. Gabe Spire is not good right now. Don't do this. We are back from the break. And now we got Gabe Spire. Oh, hey, how's it going? Typical. Thanks for pointing out. Thanks for bothering me. Why don't you come on YouTube? Come on this one. Here, I'll give you the link for it, man. And now the pitch. And that's going to be popped up and fouled. Are you more? Oh, you're more of a Twitch guy? Okay. Just that if you're on YouTube, if you'd like to help support this channel, I got PayPal, Venmo. You got any of that? If you need the usernames, I'll hand it to you. As we're at 0-2 for Dalton Varsho because they're going with the lefties because they have to. And now the pitch. And that is going to be a ball. 1-2. I'm looking for your clutch comment. Looking for anything that says Twitch on it. Sorry, I can't find the typicals. And now the pitch. Low for a ball, 2-2. Now I'm getting a little bit more nervous. LFG Mariners. Oh, I remind you of Kenji Jojima, do I? Dutchy clutch. Ah, I see what you mean. Now the pitch. Now here's going to be a fly ball in center field, and Julio makes the catch. Mariners have retired 16 in a row. Yeah, he thinks I look like Kenji Jojima. Here, I'll give you a treat. Wonder if I have this catcher's napkin still. Ah, I have it. Just for you. And it doesn't fit. Oh, wait, it does. There we go. Now the pitch. And that's going to be popped up into right field. And Victor Robles is going to be there. And he makes the catch. And that's going to be 2 outs. So you like this, right? Hey, the one who made the comment about I look like Kenji Jojima. Here I am. I have all the cool gears, don't I? I have all the merchandise over there. I just gotta take a selfie of myself for this. And now it's Anthony Santander up to the plate. And now the pitch. And that's gonna be a strike. Yep, I'm doing it clutch, am I? Now, do you guys vote that I keep this on? As we're at 0-1, and now the pitch. And now here's going to be a liner to left field, and Rosarena makes the catch. He dives and makes the catch, and that's going to retire the side. And the Mariners get out of it with an easy 1-2-3 inning by Gabe Spire and Randy Rosarena with a saving catch that could have led to things that I don't want to know. And we're going into the top of the 8th inning. Yeah, it's about the helmet and this catcher's mask because Dutchy Clutch thinks I look like Kenji Jojima. And I guess but here's the thing. Kenji Jojima brought bad vibes too, you know. I mean, although he was a good player, heard he was not exactly good at communicating with the pitcher. I mean, it was a language barrier. I mean, can't really fault him for it because he speaks mostly Japanese. He's not an English speaker, so you couldn't really blame him for it. But he just happened to be in some of the worst times in Mariners history, unless you were a fan of the 1980s. Now they're going back to Mariners things. Okay. He's going to play for the Mariners next year. Let's go, Joe Champions. Did you hear Joe won his softball tournament? Ain't that right? Yes, I did. That's why the shirt's right here. Softball Champions. Oh, man, I got all these Twitch people here, too. Yeah, you are right, typical Terran. Oh, boy. Let's see if we can keep this going. And they told me to wear this helmet for the rest of the game. And we are back from the break. They're advertising the World Baseball Classic. USA going to be led by Aaron Judge and Cal Raleigh. That should be a fun crew to watch. And don't forget, Dominican Republic, always a fun team. Now the pitch to Rosarena, way up high for a ball as he made that diving catch. And now it's going to be Sir Anthony Dominguez. He is 4-4 in the regular season as a pitcher. Now the pitch, way inside for a ball. That's going to be 2-0. And let's keep this going. We're at 2-1 so far. Mariners have the momentum. They're 6 outs away from taking a game 1 lead. As we're at 2-0. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a strike. Dominguez has pitching a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. As now we're at 2-1. And now the pitch. Way up high for a ball. And that is 3-1. And now we're at 3-1. And now the pitch. Way outside for a ball. Ball 4. Take your base. And now it's going to be up to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh, who, by the way, hit the solo home run to tie the game. And let's see if he can do this again. And that was a really big monster home run, and he has to do it again. We got to make sure he does it again. The pitch. Oh, he looked like he was going to go for it. Why'd you check swing? That's going to be strike 1 for Cal Raleigh. 9 home runs at the Rogers Center since 2022. And now we're at 0-1 for Cal Raleigh, who was 2 for 3. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball, strike 2. Got off the wrong part of his bat. And we'll try this again. Julio Rodriguez will be on deck. As we are at 0-2. And the throw to first. And that's going to be not in time. And now the pitch. And swing and a miss, strike 3. Why? Why'd you do that to yourself? And now it's going to be Julio Rodriguez up to the plate. What can he do? And now the pitch. And that gets away. And now that's going to be a free bag for Randy Rosarena as he was stealing it anyway. And now Julio Rodriguez doesn't really have to hit a home run. All he's got to do, he just has to get a nice base hit. And that will easily get Randy Rosarena home. Because the Mariners need as much lead as they can because we know that a 1-run lead is just not going to be enough. And now we're at 1. Oh, shouldn't that be a balk? I swear they never call these things. That looked like a balk to me. As now we're at 1-0 for Julio Rodriguez. And now here is the pitch. And low, and that's ball, and a Rosarena steals again. This is exactly what I want to see. And now maybe Julio can just a little bunt. Let's just do a little suicide squeeze, shall we? Let's really get this run in. Randy had a great jump, too. I don't even know if I forgot if the catcher even threw it. He didn't even throw it. He had no chance. And that's going to be a 3-0 count. And Julio, I'm giving you the green effing light. Green light. Go for it. Because I don't want to walk to cause a double play with one out. Just go for it. Green light, Julio. And let's see what happens as it's 3-0. Now the pitch. And that's going to be a fly ball popped up. That was an obvious green light. Yeah, you have to. I don't want to accept a walk. I just want to, like, I would say this, like, keep swinging at it as long. And now the pitch and ball 4, take your base. And now there's a chance for a double play, but we got Jorge Polanco up. And if I'm Julio, steal second. Whew. Why does this game have to be so intense? It's always Mariners games that are like this. And we've got the pitching coach coming out to the mound to have a little chatter with the bullpen pitcher. As Dominguez getting a talk to. Oh, boy. Well, they're playing their little commercial. I'm going to play my little commercial.
Try our hand-breaded chicken tenders, perfectly seasoned and served with a choice of sides, golden fries, fluffy biscuits, homemade mashed potatoes, creamy mac and cheese, fresh side salad, fresh coleslaw, plus enjoy a dipping sauce on the side. Come in and treat yourself to the best comfort food around. Visit us today and satisfy your cravings.
All right, let's do this. Jorge Polanco is now up to the plate. Let's see what he's got. 13 pitches in for Dominguez, and now here's the pitch. And that is outside for a ball. And I'm telling you, Julio, just steal the base already. So you can avoid the double play. Please, please steal. I am begging you. That's literally your forte. Please. Now the pitch. Swing and a miss. Told you that was another good time to steal. Steal the base. Stop sitting, Julio. And remind you on Twitter X as well. Julio. Steal second. Now. As we're at 1-1 for Dominguez to Polanco. And now the pitch. And that is low for a ball. That kind of almost got away. And that's going to be 3-1. Or 2-1, excuse me. As now we're at 2-1. Let's see where this goes. It's going to be very intense. Now the pitch. And now here's going to be a ground ball, and that gets right through for a base hit. Here comes Randy Rosarena. He is going to score, and the Mariners now take a 3-1 lead, a 3-1 lead on an RBI single by Jorge Polanco, and he does it again. He has been money throughout the postseason. Jorge Polanco, unbelievable performance. And and Julio had to dodge that ball, by the way. And there we go. How about that? And Jorge Polanco kind of gave a little blow to the kiss a little bit. And they're going to go get the bullpen.
Since 2022, I have been building the Rooftop Sports YouTube channel, and I want to thank all of you for your support and engagement. Without all of you, there is no Rooftop Sports. Now, if you would like to take your support to the next level, join my exclusive YouTube membership program for just $5 a month. Get first access to new videos, ad-free content, and exclusive insights from my fantasy sports, as I do play many fantasy sports leagues. Plus, follow along with my softball seasons like never before. You also get access to my own emojis to use to comment on my videos and my live streaming shows. For just $5 per month, become a bigger part of my community and get ready for unparalleled sports experience. Let's do this.
Now I'm wondering if I should just wear this helmet for the entirety of the series or just going forward. Yeah. Might as well add a touch to it, right? Helmet guy. So we got the... Okay, so Mojo are basically OG duo. Marine they are more of the Gen Z duo. Couch the Coog Mariner. Trident, the Beard, Jake, other Beard. And now the pitch, and that's going to be in there for a strike. And now it's going to be 0-1. And now the throw to second. And not in time. But that was really close, wasn't it? And I got to stand up. My back is kind of starting to hurt a little bit. Not that it's hurting, it's my lower back. It's the problem of a 33-year-old guy. Also, I'm out of shape, so that doesn't really help as well. As now we are at 0-1 for Naylor, who is, by the way, 0 for 3. And now the pitch. And swing and a miss. And that is going to be 0-2. Yeah, I'm just going to do that. As now we're at 0-2. Fans have been being a little bit more quiet. And now the pitch. Way outside for a ball. Now we're at 1-2. And now the pitch. Oh, swing and a miss. Strike 3. Why? It was very reminiscent of this. The 0-2 pitch.
You gotta love these guys.
I mean, he literally just swing. It was literally like that. If don't stop chasing, it's going to be a short series. Yeah, of course it is. Now here's good vibes only up to the plate. And here's the pitch. And that's going to be in there for a strike. Mariners now have a 3-1 lead. They are 6 outs away from taking game 1 of the best of 7. And now here's the 0-1 pitch. And that's going to be up high for a ball. Maybe this will be my branding of the future. Doing podcasts with a catcher's mask. And now here's the pitch. And that's going to be inside for a ball. And now we're at 2-1. for Eugenio Suarez. He's got a big opportunity to really break this open, but there is 2 outs, but you might as well just do one big swing of the bat. And now to throw the second again, and no one was even ready. They were just trying to keep Julio in check. Outside, I've had enough to make balls and strikes challengeable. They had no problems ever in AAA. Okay, I understand. As we're at 2-1, but I'm going to miss the framing strategy, though. As we're at 2-1, and Julio with a big lead. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball, strike 2. Down to the final strike. And then Blue Jays are going to have a chance in the 8th inning with only a 2-run deficit. As now we're at 2-2. Fans are not that loud, honestly. They're kind of like, yeah, whatever. They're really nervous as much as I am. Blue Jay fans are, because every game matters. There is no, it's just one game. As we're at 2-2. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball again. And this thing is just getting itchy in the wrong parts of my head. Oh, no. Now it's turning to. Oh, no. I have to fix this. Not in. All right. I kind of fixed it. Now it's 2-2. And now the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And that's going to retire the side. And we're going to go into the bottom of the 8th inning, and that may just give the Blue Jays some little bit of momentum. I'm going to have to fix this helmet again. Hope you're enjoying watching me fix my helmet. It's just that it gets itchy in the wrong places. Nope, still not in the right places. Now they're really advertising ChatGPT on commercials, aren't they? Feels heavy on the front end. That's the problem. There we go. I think that's a little bit better. Gamer 11. Mariners hitters have to deal with huge zones. MLB wants Toronto in the World Series for higher ratings. I know, right? They want the Canadian audience. They'd rather have the Canadian audience than the Japanese audience. I know. And they also like, and the whole Guerrero versus Ohtani seems like a really good touch to them, too. What about Dumper? Isn't he cool, too? What about Julio? The Coolio? Come on, man. This ain't cool. It's going to be intense. And now the pitch. And it's going to be Matt Brash. And maybe I would have given Spire one more. Oh, come on. He only had 8 pitches? This is so garbage. And it's a lefty. There's going to be a ground ball to Naylor. It's going to be 1 out. You think I'm too jolly? What are you talking about, Joey boy? And now here's George Springer up to the plate, who did hit the solo home run to get it started. You think I'm too happy? I don't know. I'm nervous. Now the pitch. And that's going to be right in there for a strike. And now the pitch. And that's going to be popped up and fouled. What? I was encouraged to wear the mask. Do you think the mask works for you, Gamer 11? Does it work? Do you like the mask? Do you think the mask is all cool? Come on. Let me know if you think it's cool. Now the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And that's going to be 2 outs. 4 outs away from going 1-0 in the American League Championship Series. So you do like the mask because a guy says I look like Kenji Jojima. So I'm like, you know what? Okay. I'll make myself look good. As long as the Mariners are winning, right? And now we've got next batter. Cal Raleigh was, what are they talking? Have a chat with Bryce Miller. Matt Brash is only on 7 pitches. Munoz is going to be the closer. Now the pitch up high for a ball. Batter's going to be Schneider. It's like they're going with the matchups, I think. As now we're at 1-0. Now the pitch. And that's going to be a strike, and that's going to be 1-1. As we're batting 230, that's Davis Schneider's batting 234. Now we're at 1-1. And now the pitch. And that's going to be popped up into right field. And Victor Robles is there. And he makes the catch. And that is going to be the 3rd out. Another easy 1-2-3 inning for the Seattle Mariners. And we'll be going into the top of the 9th inning. And insurance runs would be nice, wouldn't it? Oh, let me get this helmet off. It gets a little bit uncomfortable at times. But yeah, I guess maybe I am more of a catcher. I think this would have fit better if I was wearing a hat. But it's much cooler with the helmet. So there you go. Getting more used to it, am I? Maybe the helmet will be more of an attention grabber than my own face. Isn't that how it works, doesn't it? But you know what they say? Things come by accident, right? My YouTube channel kind of happened by accident. Some of my videos blew up by accident. Let's see how my fantasy football team is doing. My fantasy football team is just getting murdered again. But that doesn't matter. Because at least I got this.
Well, at least I'm 2022 fantasy football champion.
Oh, come on. You got to give me that to me. Got to give that to me. Got to give that to me. I am still 2022 fantasy football champion. I'm 2022 fantasy baseball champion. And I'm 2025 fantasy women's basketball champion. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, at least I'm 2022 fantasy football champion.
I am still a champion. You can't take that away from me. My friends get really annoyed by it. They're like, when are you going to stop talking about it? Oh, dang it. That just doesn't do it for me. You won fantasy football this week. Oh, good for you, boo-boo. Just be quiet. Adjust this. All right, I think that's better. Still love Rooftop Sports when it's pure butthurtedness at its best, huh?
Well, at least I'm 2022 fantasy football champion.
You won in fantasy this week, so you've won 2 in a row, huh, kid? But I'm still 2022 fantasy football champion, so hush, little boy. He's in my league, by the way. The Korean boy's in my league. Can I scratch this anywhere? It's all itchy in the wrong places. I shouldn't even be saying that. Oh, man. And now here's Canzone up to the plate. And now here's the pitch. And that's going to be outside for a ball. And you did win indeed, Macaroni Cheese. Congratulations. And now the pitch. Now here's going to be a grounder and foul. Next 3 batters are going to be these following. We've got Dom Canzone, Victor Robles, and JP Crawford. See what that can be done as we're at 1-1. And now the pitch. Way up high for a ball. That's going to be 2-1. In the 9th inning, it's going to be Vlad Guerrero Jr., Addison Barger, and Alejandro Kirk, who are a combined, by the way, 0 for 7 in this game. And the pitch. And that is a strike. As now we're at 2-2. Definitely need some more insurance runs because I don't think 3-1 is going to be enough because, mind you, the Mariners had a 2-run lead in game 1 of the division series. Now the pitch. And now here's going to be a ground ball right to Guerrero, go to first, and that's going to be in time. And now we've got 2 outs in this inning, or 1 out in this inning. Game 1 will be tomorrow at 5 p.m. between the Brewers and the Dodgers. That should be an interesting series. Except one of them has the sexier names. Andres Munoz is now going to be in the bullpen, which I'm very nervous about. Which is why I need a lot more runs. Now here's Victor Robles to the plate. And now here's the pitch. And that's going to be a strike. Bryce Miller has carried this Mariners team as much as he could when he basically did the Bob Wolcott. And now here is the 0-1. And that's going to be low for a ball. $19.95 ALCS. And now here's going to be the 1-1. And now here's the pitch. And that's going to be a blooper. And could that be? And go to first. And not in time. Infield single for Victor Robles. Now you got a man on first base. And it's going to be JP Crawford up to the plate. And as long as you don't hit into a double play, Randy Arozarena could get another opportunity. And maybe Cal Raleigh. The ALCS in 95 was on October 10th. Bob Wolcott had 102 pitches, went into the 7th inning. That's going to be low. That's going to be a throw to first. That's going to be not in time. But yeah, I mean, Bryce Miller and Bob Wolcott had very similar starts, very similar outings, very similar performances. And now the pitch. And that's going to be up high for a ball. Back in 95, Bob Wolcott gave up 2 runs, 5 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Gave up a homer, unfortunately, on a 3-2 victory. And now the pitch. It's going to be way up high for a ball. Then it was Jeff Nelson, who also pitched, got a strikeout. And then Norm Charlton got the save. As we're at 2-0. And now the pitch to Crawford. And that's going to be a foul ball. And that's going to be 2-1. Again, Mariners are just 3 outs away from going 1-0 in the American League Championship Series. And now it is 2-1. And now here is the pitch. And now here's going to be a ground ball, and that's just going to be right to first base. But that moves Victor Robles to second base. But now you got Randy Arozarena. Maybe he could do a little bit more. If only Cal Raleigh was up to the plate, but then that would have made him a leadoff hitter, so probably not. Cleveland in 95 game 1. It was Dennis Martinez, then Julian Tavares, Paul Osemacher, and Eric Plunk. And now here is Arozarena up to the plate. Now here is the pitch. And a swing and a miss, and he was really going for it. You don't have to hit the home run. You can literally just poke it somewhere, and that can still get Victor Robles in. Arozarena is 0 for 3. He walked on his last at-bat. I believe that's what he did. Now we're at 0-1. Now the pitch. Swing and a miss again, and that's going to be strike 2. Now the crowd is up on their feet. Not as loud as the first couple innings. Blue Jay fans aren't exact. They're feeling a bit nervous, which I would, but I am too. As we're at 0-2 for Randy Arozarena. It's a matter if the Mariners can go to a 1-0 lead. And now the 0-2 pitch. And strike 3 called, and that is going to retire the side. Arozarena is not liking the call, but it was clearly a strike. And now it's going to be up to Andres Munoz. I am very nervous. I think I better go to the bathroom before this thing gets ugly. Senor, tell me how you make a thin crust Sahara pizza.
With your hands. Cornmeal.
Hello, baseball fans. I'm excited to announce that we are still offering 50% off pizza and 25% off bowling Monday and Tuesdays. Head on over to Snoqualmie Sahara Pizza. This deal will go through May.
And that's how you make a Sahara pizza. Beautiful thing.
Three innings to go. Can the Mariners hold a 3-1 lead? I'm still 2022 fantasy football champion. And my team has injuries. Is anyone feeling nervousness like me? I am. And crazy to think that the Mariners rallied with 2 outs and 2 strikes on Cal Raleigh, hit the home run, and we are back from the break. Then it was Polanco scoring in runs twice. And the crazy to think that the Blue Jays only got a run just because of a bad first pitch to George Springer, the former Astro. Andres Munoz is now in. He has 38 of 45 on save opportunities. So he has been shown to be erratic. He has proven that he can still give them up. And now it's going to be up to Andres Munoz to see if he can finish this off. As we're at 3-1. Blue Jays have had no runs, 1 hit since George Springer leadoff home run on the very first pitch. And now here is Guerrero. Now the pitch. And that's going to be outside for a ball, and you're already feeling it, aren't you? They made George Springer a designated hitter. Now we're at 1-0. And now the pitch, and that's going to be a strike. Guerrero is a career 0 for 7 hitter against Andres Munoz. We remember when Andres Munoz showcased his velocity at 103 miles an hour and the 1-1, and that's going to be a ground ball foul. Just one strike away from making it 2 outs away from going 1-0. And what a game that this has been, as we're at 1-2 for Guerrero Jr. And now the pitch. And now here's going to be a ground ball right to J.P. Crawford. Throw to first. And that's going to be in time. Woo! Just 2 outs away. 2 outs away. 2 outs away. 2 outs away. I'm going to keep running in place until the next guy hits. Woo! This has been very intense, to say the least. Come on, let's keep this going. And now we got Addison Barger. And now the pitch. And now here's going to be a high fly ball to left field, but Julio is there. And he makes the catch, and that is going to be 2 outs. You are literally 1 out away from taking game 1 of the best of 7 in the American League Championship Series. Because now we're at 2 outs. Blue Jay fans are feeling it, but just a reminder to you, Astros won with 2 outs in the division series in 2022. The pitch to Kirk, and that's a strike, and maybe the umpire just wants to end it and go home. I agree. I want to turn off this game too. But I have to do a post-game show, of course. As now we're at 0-1, and now the pitch. Check swing, did he go? He did go, and it's strike 2, and it's game time. George Springer was the one that set the tone with a home run. Bryce Miller struggled with 2 walks, but he got himself out of it. Has an opportunity to get a win. First postseason win comes down to this, the 0-2 pitch, and that's going to be popped up, and this should do it. Who's calling for it? Rosarena is there, and he makes the catch, and the ball game is over. The Mariners take the first game of the American League Championship Series. The last time the Mariners had a series lead in the American League Championship Series was 2000, and I was only 8 years old. First ALCS win since Game 3, and that's when I was taking a ferry to go to a family friend's house. That was when Brett Boone and Jay Buhner, John Olerud hit their home runs. And now, 24 years later, the Mariners finally get a win in the American League Championship Series. And how long has it been? Too long. Bryce Miller with the win. Andres Munoz with the save. Gosman with the loss. And I'm going to go straight into the postgame. So what happened was, in the top of the first, the Mariners had about two runners on. And then Cal Raleigh got thrown out, and there was a question on whether Dan Wilson should have used the challenge because Cal Raleigh looked like he was safe on a grounder that was thrown at home. But he was, I think he should have challenged it even at the time. But I guess Dan Wilson wanted to save it till later, but he didn't have to anyway. But, hindsight is 2020. Then we go into the very first pitch, just literally right off the bat. George Springer hit a solo home run off of Bryce Miller on, it was like an easy fastball to swing at, and it was boom. Then Bryce Miller gave up 2 walks, and he got out of it with some pop-ups and everything like that. It was a very good way to get out of the inning. It was very reminiscent to the Bob Wolcott start in 1995 ALCS Game 1, when Wolcott loaded the bases with nobody out, and then he got the 3 outs by striking out Albert Bell, caused Eddie Murray to pop up, and Jim Thome to hit a grounder to Joey Cora. And that's where they eventually won. And this game was won on home runs on 2 of those games, pretty much. And then it was pretty much stagnant for the rest of the way, with the exception that Bryce Miller pitched extremely well. He deserves more than enough credit. I am practice this game. But yeah, 3 walks and 3 strikeouts, average game at best, but he only gave up 2 hits, and the only run he gave up was just an oopsie pitch to George Springer, the former Astro, who usually feasted on the Mariners, it seemed. Then it was the top of the 6th inning when Cal Raleigh had 2 strikes on him, and on 2 strikes, he blasted this solo home run, and Cal Raleigh is known to be Mr. Canada Killer in Toronto. No offense, Canadians. You got Whistler. Whistler's cool. Anyways, he hits the home run, but the Mariners kept on going with a Julio Rodriguez walk, and he eventually got to second base on a wild pitch, and then Jorge Polanco with 2 outs. I said that Julio should steal second, but eventually it didn't matter because he got the wild pitch to go to second anyway, and then Jorge Polanco hits a clutch single to score him in. Then Bryce Miller dominates the 6th inning. He did very well. I think he gave up a hit or something like that. Oh, I remind you that I totally forgot that Victor Robles, he unfortunately let a ball go past him. It looked like that was going to set the tone in a bad way. Nope, didn't really do that. Then in the 7th inning, I think that's when they pulled Bryce Miller for Gabe Spire, who, by the way, pitched an easy 1-2-3 inning. Then in the top of the 8th inning, that was when Arozarena walked. Then he stole second on a wild pitch. And then he stole third by himself with a hustle. And then Polanco singled again to score him in. And then Matt Brash, he was dominant. And then Andres Munoz only needed 8 pitches. And the crazy thing is this: Gabe Spire, Matt Brash, and Andres Munoz each pitched 8 pitches, 24 pitches total in 3 innings. Absolutely amazing performance by the pitching. Gave up a total of 1 run. Strikeout. They didn't really strike out much, but they were getting very easy outs. I mean, let's look at the box score. Aside from George Springer, we got Nukes, who was 0 for 1, Straw 0 for 1, Schneider 0 for 1, Guerrero 0 for 4, Barger 0 for 2, Kirk 0 for 3, Varsho 0 for 3, Clement 0 for 3, Santander 1 for 3. That was that little oopsie thing to Victor Robles. And Jimenez 0 for 3. That was just like the Mariners pitching was just unbelievable. Then we go into Seattle. Here's what the box score. Arozarena 0 for 4, but he got the walk to make up for it. And he made an amazing diving catch, by the way. Cal Raleigh 2 for 4 with a home run. That was the turning point. Julio Rodriguez went 1 for 2. Then Polanco 2 for 4. Naylor went 0 for 4, unfortunately. He was brutal. Suarez almost hit a home run, 1 for 4. Canzone 0 for 4, brutal. Victor Robles 1 for 4, still brutal. JP Crawford 0 for 4, brutal. But the point was, the Mariners got their win off of very much uncertainty because Mariners had just gotten out of the division series at the skin of their teeth. And we were thinking, oh, if Bryce Miller can just go like 4 or 5 innings of okayness, we give it 2 runs, okay. No, Bryce Miller dominated. Like, this is like 2024 Bryce Miller, and he's doing it again, especially from that Tiger series when he pitched very well. And now he's pitching well again. Like, this is exactly what we need. And now going into the next games, we're going to have Luis Castillo, Logan Gilbert, possibly Brian Wu, and then you're going to have Bryce Miller. And don't forget about George Kirby. Mariners have every bit of opportunity to go to make something run of this series. Like, they really have huge opportunities. They have some of the best starting pitching in all of baseball. Knock on wood, by the way. It just continues. And then tomorrow, assuming that Luis Castillo is going to be pitching, because he did pitch only 15, and we were thinking he should have pitched game 1, and it turned out it did not matter because of an amazing Bryce Miller performance. So next game is going to be game 2. Unfortunately, I will not be able to do the game I want to, but hashtag don't quit your day job. Now, if you would like to prevent the don't quit your day job, hit that like button, subscribe, notification, and also donate to the channel through the YouTube Super Chat or the PayPal or the Venmo, which is available, links available in the description. Well, that's going to do it. I'm very happy about a Mariners victory. I think everyone should. We were all terrified of Toronto, but looks like, at least for now, Mariners got business taken care of. That's going to be it. Thank you very much. This is Rooftop Sports, and everyone have a good night and go Mariners. And I just got to put this closing video out for you all.
All right, guys, goodbyes only. Don't forget it.
Stop it. Thank you.